Hello. Can someone confirm in the chat that they can see it? Oh, no, all right. Okay, I'll let Tom carry on.
I think that's how it stops then, doesn't it? You don't carry on. Is that the one where you get the unicorn flying at the screen? You know what I mean, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I do know what you mean.
Yeah.
Well, welcome everyone who's watching. Can someone just confirm they can see both of us and hear us clearly before we carry on and start talking to ourselves? I hope you're not new to the show because this is just Tom being Tom, and we're going to have plenty more of that over the next couple of hours.
I'll be recording now.
This intro is a bit strange. This intro might be a bit strange to some of you who are listening probably to this as the podcast, as playback on iTunes or Spotify or wherever, because we're doing our 1 year anniversary special podcast where we're doing this live. We've got a little audience sort of watching the background who can hopefully interact with us as we listen back to our best bits over the last 12 months. For those of you in the audience, I apologise for the middle screen where it's like some mad Inception shit. For some reason it wouldn't let me share just the media player, so I've had to like share my screen and then have the media bit on the side, so it might blow your minds a little bit seeing us move twice on the screen, but it works well. It means you can hear it nice and clearly when we play them back. So yeah, what we're going to do is we're going to listen back to some of our best bits. I say best bits, it's mainly just Tom being Tom. If the beginning didn't give it away, he's a wild guy, aren't you, Tom?
Yeah, totally. What. Speaking of which, it's someone in the. So we've got like a little chat on the side here. Can everyone see the messages, or can only we see the messages?
No, everyone should be able to interact with each other.
Okay, so someone just asked how much for a naked picture. I don't know who they're actually asking for there.
Oh, hang on, I've just seen.
So at the end of the day, I don't want to undercut.
That's Robbo. It's Robbo, isn't it? Backwards, look.
Oh God, it is as well. That's like Inception. But I don't want to undercut you, Bill. You know, so
you don't want to undercut
how
me.
How much would you charge?
Well, Sam said for you, Robbo, it's £10, which is a bargain.
He's going straight for an even number there, £10. He's not doing the old $9.99 deal. You know, you're going straight into it.
Robbo makes a good point there. Robbo was our stroke guest a couple of weeks ago, so unfortunately, Robbo, I don't want to send you a nude picture because I'm afraid I might give you another stroke.
Well, Robbo has just said, why is my name backwards? It's like it's had a stroke. So when you just said that's a good point, that's what I thought you was talking about then, Bill.
Anyway, before we draw this intro out even longer, we're going to get straight into it. So we've got an eye list here, guys. We've got 20... Actually, we've got more than 27. I think we've got about 30-odd best bits to get through. The first one on the list, then, is... I've just wrote little sentences here, guys, so some of you might, if you've heard these episodes, it might sort of give it away. If you haven't, then this might be new to you. The first one is Bill's Garmin satellite navigation system. This is from our second ever episode on fitness trackers. So
I'll save that for later.
Play this right now.
Chewing gum.
Tom. Guys, please let me know if you
Johnny.
can't hear this when I play it. So we'll go straight into it.
I'm going to move that.
I'm not one of these fucking douchebags that spend about £300 on a satellite navigational system that sits on their wrist and tells them when they need to fart and that, Bill?
Yeah, so guys, the tracker I've got is actually a £400 Garmin GPS satellite tracker. Yes, when I bought mine, I didn't really think it through, and I thought, being in the army, I'm going to be using all this Gucci GPS kit. And really, I don't actually do any of that. I just run. So, I mean, I've got a £400 Garmin watch, and I'll just run in it. But we've all got watches. Has anyone got anything else than a watch? Tom, you got anything different? And to really add to that special, guys, I'm actually wearing that watch right now. So if somebody wants a fantastic £400 satellite navigation system, I'm selling it on the cheap. Unfortunately, I don't wear that often, so the time is actually completely wrong on it. It's telling me I'm in January 2020 and it's 7 in the morning. But if you do want that watch, get in touch.
400 quid as well.
Ryan,
yeah, can't get the right fucking date.
I'll take it. I don't know, £5. It's a good bargain. I don't really wear it often, but I'm wearing it today. I thought it deserves to be worn.
How much?
Since the last time I probably wore it was in that episode. It's about £400.
£400 and you can't get the right fucking date on it.
Well, it's because I haven't worn it in so long. It's been switched off in a cupboard.
You'd be best off just wearing a sundial like me. Do you know what, though? When I saw this in the show notes, I don't know why, but this actually... It reminded me of something that popped into my head very recently. And this was years ago. And me and you was actually driving back from Reading. And this is, when I say years ago, it's like back in 2012. In fact, we got someone in the chat, Sam, which is another friend of ours. And Sam was supposed to be with us at the time, but he couldn't because he chinned off our social event for his dad's birthday because, he's selfish like that. And we couldn't convince him, from what I remember. But me and you was on our way back from Reading in the middle of the night, and this was around the time that sat-navs were still relatively new, at least on iPhones. And I don't know if you remember this, Bill, but I don't know if you remember the sat-nav nearly taking us into a fucking reservoir in the middle of the night. And I think like it was around the time where I had loads of problems with my car. So for fucking the headlights weren't working. It was in the pitch black on the motorway, and the sat-nav nearly took us fucking into a reservoir on the motorway. I don't know why, but I was thinking about it recently, funny enough, and that popped into my head when I saw the show notes. In fact, me, you, and our friend Sam, I've actually got a picture of all three of us here, and you might see that hat looks very familiar.
Oh, yeah. That's a famous hat now, Tom.
Yeah, it is. Do you know, well, to be in all fairness, we're all wearing hats in that picture, and I can't remember how it ended up this way, but we came out of a nightclub, and in the end, we couldn't get the hats past the bouncers, so it all ended up in like a Tesco bag filled with piss. What was the next best bit?
The next best bit. It's going to take all fucking night at this rate. The next one is the Oyo Nova Gym. So I'll just play it, and this is an interesting product. If you are listening in, give it a quick Google. The Oyo Nova Gym. I'll quickly write that in the chat so you know what it's how it's spelt. But yeah, it's definitely an interesting device. So I'll go ahead and play that right now.
So, you did say, like, what do you think of this, Bill? We heard from Andy, now you're going to hear from me. I think this is the fucking future, mate. Do you know why I think it's from the future? Or why it's all the future?
Go on, Tom.
Because it uses NASA technology. I can really feel your sarcasm in that tone of voice. No, listen. Look,
genuine, Andy, genuine.
Apart from all the chaos that's happening in the world at the moment, look what's going on. We're in a new golden age of space, of the space age. Elon Musk has just, shot his new, whatever the fuck it's called. Is it SpaceX? His rocket?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's gone in there. Not so long ago, he shot his car into space. And, now we're using NASA technology to get absolutely fucking ripped. So, what's going to happen from now on? Is Elon going to shoot a squat rack into space? Is that what we're going to deal with next month? Is that going to be the next fucking, the next disaster? We're going to be dealing with hench fucking alien invaders. Because they've used the Oyo Nova Gym. And this is all our fault. It's our fault. We brought this upon ourselves.
Wow.
Fuck sake.
I swore a lot back
How is that product doing? Have you seen any updates from that product yet?
Well, it's not colonised Mars yet, as far as I'm aware.
And I fucking spelt it wrong anyway. Fuck's sake. I had one job.
You have spelled it wrong as well. Talk about Elon Musk, though. Like, he's another one that lives rent-free in my head. I mean, he called a guy a paedophile. And the guy tried to sue him for slander, and Elon Musk still won.
Well, he's got loads of fucking money, isn't he?
Do you remember that happening? It was when those kids were missing in that tunnel in...
the mine, wasn't it?
In Thailand. Yeah, in Thailand. And Elon Musk, being the lunatic he is, like Iron Man... just had loving the rascal JVC
Someone's having your pants down there.
To be fair, these are the best headphones I've ever had. All the other ones I've had, and to be fair, Bill, you've had this problem. If you go wireless, when the most important times you need your headphones, the battery's fucked. It's dead. But with wired, you can't go wrong with wired. There is one problem though. If you wear these in a gym, so did I send you a picture of it, Bill? When I got fucking caught in between the weight plates. So I was changing plates on the barbell on the deadlift. It might have been someone else I sent the picture to, but I got the wire caught in the plates, and as I've gone to lift back up, I've fucking wrenched my head off nearly. I've got noosed by my JVC headphones.
I've never heard of anyone else doing that.
I must have sent a text to someone else. I might have dreamt it. I might have dreamt up the whole thing, to be honest with you.
Fuck's sake. Right, let's move on. This next one is probably one of my favourites. This is the OG. If you've been with us from the very beginning, you might be aware of our initial conspiracy theory sort of tangents we go on at the start of episodes. And this is the original one, the OG. Birds aren't real.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I've got one issue, Bill. So today's podcast about fitness apps, apparently. Now, I must have missed a memo on that because all the research I've got here is on why birds aren't real. So I think we've crossed right wires here. So the only research...
Why birds aren't real?
Yeah, it's a conspiracy. You can look it up. Birds aren't real. This is a fact, by the way. I've got the research here, mate, waiting. Obviously, it's all useless now because it turns out I'm on the wrong fucking podcast topic. But yeah, birds aren't real. They're mechanical.
Let's listen.
Yeah, Yeah, you can Google this. You can Google birds aren't real. They have their own. They have their own website. You can find YouTube interviews from the main conspirator. I call him Truth Sayer, actually, because what he's saying is the truth, and that is birds aren't real. They're actually miniature drones that the government use to spy on us. And actually,
yeah, I'm seeing this.
Yeah. Now, do you know why the lockdown has happened? It's so they can recharge the birds whilst we're indoors.
Recharge the bird.
Well, listen, where do you don't really see birds in winter, do you? Do you know why? Because they've got to charge the birds, mate. They've got to charge the birds. Perhaps they're solar powered, and winter kind of stops that. But yeah, basically, I've got all this research sat here to prove why birds aren't real, and it's all fucked now, isn't it? So yeah, cheers for that.
Fuck's sake, that's like, I cannot believe you dropped that on, like, what was that, episode 3 or episode 4, was it? You dropped that?
Yeah.
So early on.
I mean, look, breaking character here, obviously the whole birds aren't real thing is satire. And the guy that actually runs the business, because he fucking makes some really funny shirts out of it, the guy that runs it, like, he never breaks character, does it really well. But when I originally started looking into that, like, satirical movement, it was actually on a Reddit forum at the time, looking into actual conspiracy theories that people believed. So even though the whole birds aren't real thing is like satire, obviously I had to fucking come up with a new conspiracy each week then, and I had you and Andy both egging me on to fucking go down rabbit holes and try and figure out a conspiracy theory each week.
We've got plenty more to come, mate. There's more to come.
But when I was looking at Reddit and seeing some of the things that people generally believed, it's actually scary, and it wasn't fucking good for my mental health, seeing some of this stuff that people were believing. I mean, obviously, you're going to go into more detail. Some of this stuff I pretty much just took straight from Reddit, including Hollow Earth.
I think that's in there somewhere, but the next one is another one of my personal favourites, and this is the birth of our, I think it was our multi-level marketing campaign.
Oh, hang on a minute, Ellie.
Skinny candle.
Real conspiracy. Manatees are causing global warming. I think that's unfair. I think it's sexist, and there's a stigma around it just because manatees have the name man in it. We are, not the cause. And damn baby pigeons. You never see a baby pigeon. No one's ever seen a baby pigeon.
Hang on. Didn't Hannah from the other podcast that completely debunked this? She completely destroyed you by saying, "Have you ever seen a baby pigeon?" You were like, "Well, no, I've never seen."
Well, no, I've never seen a baby pigeon.
Would you even know what one looks like?
They don't exist.
No. Fuck's sake.
Very rarely do you see a sleeping pigeon, and when you do, it's on the power line because it's being charged.
I don't even know how to take it anymore because one minute you're like out of character, then you're back into character. It's carnage.
I don't know what the fuck I'm saying half the time. The
Anyway,
mouth goes for my brain.
Let's get into skinny candle. Fuck's sake.
It's hot, and I've got a Yankee candle burning right next to me.
Oh, what flavour? Flavour?
This one is. I think this is peach.
Oh, peach, naughty that.
To be fair, it's a bit of a boring one.
Nice.
Yankee usually do like Christmas cookie,
but it's not Christmas though, so you can't. So why do it?
Because every Christmas you get fucking 5 off someone, and you.
I tell you what, mate, you just like to just push, don't you? Just push back, don't you? That's all you like to do. Fucking dropping out Christmas scented candles when it's not even Christmas. I don't even know who you are.
Scented, that's what I meant to say, not flavoured candles, scented candles.
You're eating your candles, are you, Tom? Fuck me.
Well, it's my new weight loss product,
This is delicious.
It's called Skinny
Yankee
Candle.
diet.
Lose £10 in a day just eating candle wax.
Just eating wax, Skinny Candle.
Turn up pissed and eat candle wax. Fucking bam.
Tom's
I'm
a fucking
looking
top
off
Peter,
right now to go and Photoshop some advertisements for that, because that's a banner. Skinny Candle.
Skinny candle.
Skinny candle.
That's a marketing campaign there.
That is a marketing campaign.
First of all, I can't believe I actually said what flavour is a candle. No. Looking back at that was a bit fucking stupid to ask what flavour a candle was.
But it created a fantastic product, mate.
It did.
Weight loss product.
Do you know what?
Skinny candle.
I'm pretty sure that was the first episode where we had Dean Hammond on. We've had Dean on quite a few times then.
Yeah, about 3 or 4 times.
I don't think you quite knew what to expect. And when he first came on, the first half hour, he was very prim and proper. And then after we kind of like broke him down, he just fucking... He went off the rails, and he's been like that ever since with us, really. So I'm happy for that.
Robbo's just made a really, really good point there. If the birds drank maximum charged coffee, now the coffee he's talking about there is, of course, Cannibal Coffee, which is one of our podcast supporters, and he's even put in the discount code there, guys, Primal10. You get a nice little discount. and you help the podcast as well. They're later on, so they were quite, obviously we're going through the early stages at the moment, but yeah, later on they got stuck in. Oh, where's that come from? Oh,
whoa, something just flew over my head.
Must be the birds.
This is Cannonball Coffee Rum, of which we're live. Don't panic. Do not fuck up the discount code. Train Primal 10. You can use 10%. Fuck. Train Primal 10. Primal 10.
Primal 10.
Yeah, Primal 10.
Primal 10.
Yeah, there you go. 10%.
Fucked it. That Robbo seen it. You
discount.
fucked it.
I did. Do you know what it
discount.
is? So, Bill, you know I'm coming off of a bad chest infection at the moment, and I'm on a lot of stuff at the moment. I've got my cold and flu tablets, I've got my Halls, I've got my Bronchostop capsules, I've got some Strepsils somewhere. In fact, didn't we actually have this conversation with Dean that if you can overdose off Strepsils, they can make you go a bit loopy?
We did. Yeah.
I should be mixing the Halls and the
that.
Strepsils. That's what it is, and we're live.
Fuck's sake. I think the next one is either a carry-on from Skinny
Gonna
Candle,
mix
where we
it with
talk about
booze
it
as
in
well.
the pyramid scheme, or it might be the Ralphie the Cat. We'll find out. Well,
as well as the main show where we cover hot topics. Next week we're going to be covering sort of diets, so common diets in the health and fitness industry.
I didn't hear a word of that because
sorry,
I'm having to pick up all the shit the cat has just dragged out of the bin.
Could you do it when we stop recording?
Yeah, I'll just let the cat rip the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, go on, Bill. Restart from the beginning.
I'll restart that. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So. What the fuck was that?
Now.
Right, Ralphie, go on. What's your last word? That's called Ralphie, by the way.
Ralphie, fuck off.
I actually named him after Ralph Wiggum. I'm being genuine, from The Simpsons. Ah, you bastard!
Fuck's sake. Speaking of Ralphie, Tom, how is the cat that appeared for like 2 episodes in a row, then it disappeared?
Fuck knows, I cut ties as quick as possible. Do you know what? We didn't have video footage at the time. Obviously, we could see each other.
It's such a shame.
But we never. Yeah. It's fucking a shame indeed. RSPCA would have been all over me. But I mean, like once I got rid of that cat, I fucked him off. Like usually I'm an animal lover, but that cat was a fucking cock.
Absolute nightmare. It was.
If Hitler was reincarnated as a cat, it was Ralphie.
I think you even mentioned Hitler in one of these fucking best bits, mate.
Oh, fuck. In what context?
We'll find out. Next one on the list is early days technical issues / birds aren't real / the rise of the bovine movements. This is where Tom decided to add on to the birds aren't real conspiracy and bring in bovines.
Okay. Any closing points, lads?
No, I think Ralphie's definitely taking the show this week.
We're carrying with Ralphie, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I could give anyone some advice that isn't in regards to running or coffee, don't get cats. Cats are bastards. Get a dog.
Cats.
Dogs are loyal. These hoes ain't. And when I say hoe, I mean Ralphie.
What I want to see next week, though, what I'd like to see is not you, just your cat.
Just the cat and the microphone.
with the microphone and the headphones in.
Fuck's sake. All right, lads. Anyway.
I feel fucking awful now.
We're back with some myths. So this week we're going to be tackling a couple of topics quite closely linked. One is CrossFit is going to injure you. Blanket statement, CrossFit will injure you. It's a fact, lads, it's true. CrossFit will injure you.
Yep.
And then the next one, if you do deep squats, it's going to fuck your knees up.
Yeah, that's a juicy one.
That's all. That's another big one.
Well,
so, yeah.
we've cracked it. Done. See you next week.
That's it. Done. Next week. See you later.
We're 1 minute fucking in and Andy's already cut off the fucking podcast, ruined the editing, give me more hours of work.
I was laughing my tits off. I was like, that is so hilarious. That's amazing.
We thought you did, because we was fucking taking a piss, like, oh, we'll see you next week, and you just disappeared.
I was like, fucking convenient.
I thought, this is like a really, like, going too far.
No, I honestly, I was like, this is well funny. We all got kicked out, but yeah.
Okay, can I just bring up a point here? Don't you think it's weird that your webcam and your microphone picked that up and then it automatically logged you off, as if someone was listening?
That's interesting.
They already know.
What?
They already know, but who knows?
What are you trying to say, Tom?
Well, I'm not going to say that, there are sentient bird-like creatures that are controlling information at will.
Window.
But, right. Yeah, well, I tell you what, you might want to close your window for this, because I've got one for you this week. Right.
Funnily enough, mate, there are 3 outside my window now.
3 of them, yeah? Yeah, they've got like little earpieces in.
Earpieces.
Talking to each other.
It's not
little
MI5.
earpieces because they're getting ready to swat Andy.
I'm happy with this.
But let me tell you something. This kind of goes in with what we was talking about last week with cows and cow warfare. It's not just pigeons now. It's moving on to bovines. Because here's the thing, I've got a BBC News article here, and some of you might have actually read this already, because this happened, sorry, it didn't happen, but this article was released on the 10th of July. 8 cows killed at Castlemartin Army firing range.
I read this. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I read this article. Yeah.
Don't you remember me sending the fucking screenshot?
Yeah, the cows got absolutely destroyed.
No, that sounds really bad, especially like after our vegan episode. I wasn't excited because 8 cows got killed. I just got excited because it sounded like a really fucking good conspiracy theory. 8 cows killed at a firing range. I mean, look, we've all been on the firing range, and you get briefed. And I don't know if it's you. I don't know if it was just at me, but they did kind of pull me aside and say, well, not just me, the whole lot of us. And they said, like, look, if a deer runs out or anything, please don't fucking riddle it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think it's just common sense that you don't shoot an animal if it runs onto the firing range, unless you're an absolute nutter or a carnivore. But, you know, for 8 cows to get done in on the firing range...
It's a bit excessive, isn't it?
It's quite a lot, isn't it?
One, you could turn around and go, it come out of nowhere. It come out of nowhere.
8,
one, I get
8
it.
fucking cows.
But here's what I want to know, because the article doesn't really mention it, and that is, was this self-defence against the cows?
Oh.
Or was this a training exercise gone wrong? Because here's the thing, like, we know that pigeons in particular aren't real. By now we should know this, right? They're digital, they're roboticized.
I know.
Yeah, it's fact. It is fact. Mechanised cows.
So the cows aren't real now.
Well, yeah. Well, here's the thing. In the Second World War, the Germans mechanised their infantry divisions. Now, the British Army, as we know, it's we don't get the best of equipment. We don't get the best of equipment, do we? So we have to kind of make do with our mechanised infantry, which is why we're having to do with cows. So here's the thing. Were we training mechanised cows, and did they turn on us? Did they become self-aware?
Oh, God's sake. I mean, Tom, that was a conspiracy and a half, wasn't it? That rattled on.
Do you know what? I don't actually listen back to our episodes, but just listening back on myself, like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
I mean, Kez's wife seems to be on that same train of thought. She has absolutely no idea what's going on.
Well, mechanised cows, like, what's not to understand?
Fuck's sake. The next one is a bit more of a punchy one. So this next one is the issue of science from the carnivore episode. So this is where I managed to change Tom into a carnivore for a very split second.
I'm really sorry.
Before we get into that,
I've got to quickly put this up. Just this link that Sam's just put up on the chat, cowspiracy.com, and /facts. Lads were just doing their bit, and I clicked on it, and obviously the title there is taken a bit out of context. But I thought at first, like, lads doing their bit, they was talking about the soldiers that blew up the cows. So, you know, I just assumed that's what the lads doing their bit meant. You know, that they was doing us a favour by taking the cows out like an early strike. You know. Oh, saving the planet. Oh, right. I thought you meant they was doing their bit, you know, like getting an early first strike in against the bovine mechanisation unit.
The armoured mechanisation unit,
no.
Fuck's sake.
There was no Iron Dome at Castlemartin, you know.
Fuck's
Let's
sake.
not get into that.
One. This one's... we're going to talk about carnivores now. So this is where I managed to get Tom to turn into a carnivore. And if you listen to this and you're not going to become a carnivore, well...
I know I'm jumping the gun here.
Well. Right.
Go on, Bill.
I'm going into it now. I'm going to now. Right. So another claim, better heart health. And the reason that people are coming back against better heart health is because carnivore diet, you're eating fatty bits of meat, so naturally it's high in saturated fat. And that's why people say, how can you have better heart health if you're eating so much saturated fat? Well, I'm here to tell you now, about to blow all your fucking minds. There are no links between saturated fat and cardiovascular heart disease. Yeah, basically, there's no links, is what I'm saying. I'm gonna give you some studies now, and these are fucking hot. These are shit hot studies, right? So first one, meta-analysis, which we've spoke about before, which is like a big bunch of studies put together, which basically makes it bomb-proof, all comes to a conclusion. You can't go wrong. Right, so the first one here then is they were talking about how a reduction in saturated fat is supposed to improve your heart health. Well, let me tell you, this is a 5 to 23 year follow-up of 347,747 subjects. All right, that's a big number, isn't it?
That's a very big number.
11,000 developed CHD or stroke. Intake of saturated fat was not, I repeat, was not associated with an increased risk. All right. So basically, the conclusion of this study was, I'll have a link to the show notes if you want to have a look, is this meta-analysis basically said that saturated fat is not, I mean, there's more data needed to prove it, basically, because from this study, which was massive, it's saying no, there's no links. I'm not finished. So before you jump in, guys, I'm not finished. So people do say lower your saturated fat, increase your non-saturated polyunsaturated fat. Okay, polyunsaturated fat. Sorry, they're saying increase that and lower your saturated fat, improve your heart health. Well, I've got another meta-analysis, haven't I? I'm here again. This one basically was to prove that there's no difference between the two. So if you had high intakes to one, high intakes to the other, there'd be no difference. Right, so the conclusion of this study, once again, I'm not going to go through all of it. If you want to have a read from it, it will be in the show notes. But this study basically said that there was, if you were to lower your saturated fat and increase your intake of polyunsaturated fat, which is classed as healthy fat, then it's unlikely basically to reduce cardiovascular heart disease, is what it's saying. So it's saying there's no point doing it. And we've got another one. I'm telling you now, mate, saturated fat is a winner. Right, final study then, lads. This one is an absolute another whopper. So this is another meta-analysis again. So as we know, these are absolute bomb-proof, aren't they? 32 observational studies. This was 530,000 participants. So again, it's a huge amount of people there. We'll go straight to conclusion here. Once again, if you want to read the whole thing. Basically, current evidence does not clearly support cardiovascular guidelines that encourage high consumption of polyunsaturated fatty acids and low consumption of total saturated fat. So this was a study that looked at 530,000 participants, and it found there was no links between lower in saturated fat and higher in saturated fat. So from these three absolute whopping studies, I mean, it just seems like I couldn't find any other stuff. I literally looked it up straight away. So if you're a carnivore and you're looking up, is saturated fat actually bad for you? And you come across these studies, you're going to think straight away, aren't you, that there's no link between heart disease and high saturated fat, which is what we've been led to believe, isn't it? We're always told to limit our saturated fat, but these studies say the opposite. Tom, have you got any points on this, mate? Have you got any comebacks or?
Nope, I've gone fully carnivore during the speech. See you all next week.
Oh dear, fucking hell, that was a long one, wasn't it? Just
a
disclaimer.
I got confused then.
That was all in satire, by the way. That was all in satire. That I just want to completely put that out there. I was not supporting saturated fat. We were highlighting the importance that you can't read scientific data and take it full verbatim, because all them studies I mentioned, even though they were massive, they all had serious issues which limited their effectiveness. So keep your intake of saturated fat low. Even though I made it sound like it was amazing, that just showing you how easy it is to cherry pick studies to support your own agenda. That was the whole idea of that little segment.
Whenever I think back to Carnival now, I think about when you sent me those those recordings of when you was messaging Alan Flanagan about this whole mess. And if anyone doesn't listen, Alan Flanagan, also as a nutritional advocate, Irish, he's like the nutritional Jerry Adams. Fuck, really wish I hadn't said that. But like, I don't know. Fuck's sake, we can't edit it out, can we? Can we edit out live broadcasting? No.
That's like a fucking time travel.
Just like he's really, really. Don't dwell on this, Tom. Don't dwell on this. He's like a really ultra Irish nutritionist. He's Irish, but he's like really, really Irish. You got to admit, like there is like he's a really nice guy. I'm not saying anything about his political ideology, but he does look like a young Jerry Adams. I should really stop saying Jerry Adams, but he does. Alan Flanagan does look like a young Jerry Adams, and he does sound like him. But his nutritional outlook is fantastic. Hey, where the fuck was I going with this? Like when you ended up riling him up, didn't you? Because you was talking about what one carnivore had claimed, and he sent you this voice message, and it was just along the lines of how some of these carnivore people imagine like the Paleolithic caveman era, like fucking eating things like Kerrygold butter and stuff like that, and that still cracks me up.
Yeah, that was a bit. That was cracking. That was good. That one.
Fuck, I really, really, wish I hadn't called him Jerry Adams. I can see your mouse going crazy on the live screen.
Yeah, we need to move on before you start.
Let's move on.
I'm surprised I haven't been cancelled yet. Anyway, the next one.
He's a really nice guy.
Another one of Tom's amazing conspiracies: oil rigs and giant straws.
It's true.
Oil rigs.
Oil rigs?
Yeah, like what are they?
Bit off topic, innit?
I mean, they're like oil rigs, like deep sea oil rigs in particular.
Yeah.
Well, like they're just weird, aren't they? Like, apparently we're supposed to believe that they've got those big pipes that go in under the water and get oil out, which is it's just stupid, ain't it?
Why is it stupid?
Well, think about what their real purpose is for. So you've got Scotland, for example, the Scottish Isles, the sea around Scotland, and as living from there, Bill, you should kind of know about this. But like, there's a lot of deep sea oil rigging around Scotland.
Yeah, a lot of money comes from oil, doesn't it? They get a lot of money from oil. Yeah.
Well, they say it's oil, don't they? But look, realistically, when was the last time the Loch Ness monster was seen in Loch Ness, in that big pond of theirs? It hasn't been seen there in ages, has it? And I'll tell you why. It's because in the 60s, they transported the Loch Ness monster to just outside Scotland into the sea. Now, those oil rigs, we've been told that it's siphoning things up, oil. But actually what those are is they're siphoning food down, because they're basically giant straws, like feeding tubes.
Siphoning food down?
Yeah, to feed the Loch Ness monster and all the other deep sea creatures under the sea.
So you're saying they've got massive straws and they're just feeding?
Yeah, it's just a deep sea oil rig. It's basically a massive straw. It's a big feeding tube for monsters, such as the Loch Ness monster.
Fuck me.
And if you think about it, it makes sense.
My mind.
Sounds like a mega film, to be fair. Sam's spot on the money there. It does sound like a really good.
I've noticed a couple of drop-offs in listeners since my Jerry Adams comments, so we've got to be very careful with what we mention from now on.
It's only going to get worse, mate. Some of these fucking.
Oh, Jesus.
We're nearly getting to some very controversial ones. Straw leaks and they escape carnage. I like it. Sam, make it happen, mate. That's your. I reckon you've got that in the bag there. That's a film that's got you all over it. That.
What does that even
the next
mean?
one is
you all over, Sam.
I don't know. I was gonna move it on before we say something
Marine
more
life and
outrageous.
straws. That's you all over. That is so Sam. Marine life and straws.
I said I don't want to cause any more controversy, but the next one's you trying to fight our listeners.
Fucking hell.
How many calories you burned today, Tom, according to your watch?
Bearing in mind I only do 4-hour shifts and I had no clients today because they're on tomorrow. 25,000 steps. That is 11.5 miles. Calories 4,267.
Naughty.
Oh, thank God I'm not fasting.
You know, someone messaged me earlier in the week about, you said last week about 5,000 calories burned on the gym floor.
Did they say I was lying?
Yeah, no, when you said it, they
Who
thought
is
you
it?
meant as in...
Who is it?
No,
Who the fuck is it? I swear to God.
They know who they are. They listen to the podcast. They know who they are.
I fucking swear.
No.
I swear to God, if they're calling me a lie, they can meet me around the back of Nando's. We'll sort it out there.
Basically, what they said is they thought that 5,000 calories you said you burnt was literally just from the gym floor, like not the whole daily expenditure.
God, no.
It was like basically just because they're saying, how's he burnt 5,000 calories just from working on the gym floor? But obviously, if you take into account that's your entire daily expenditure.
Yeah.
Fuck's sake, Tom. Causing havoc.
Do you know the most messed up thing is? Around the time he was recording that, like since then, Nando's has only just started doing indoor dining again since we recorded that. How fucked up is that?
It's interesting. It's been a long. I think
It is interesting.
Long time.
It's
Isn't
very interesting. When was the last time you had an indoors cheeky Nando's? I'll tell
Probably
you
with you
when.
lot
Since
back in
before we
Ricer.
recorded that.
Yeah, since before it would have been. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a theme here, Tom. This next one's about you as well, mate. This one's about you starting CrossFit. We'll catch up on your CrossFit journey after this clip, but we'll play it first just so people get a bit of context of your beginning of your journey.
Hang on, I'm shirtless too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're fucking doing so.
Well, yeah.
Now.
It's like literally I use an assault bike once, and then I just like go shirtless now. I wake up in the morning, I'm wearing a fucking headband. I don't know where it's come from. 1 minute I'm drinking a coffee. I look down. Yep, definitely drinking a coffee. Look up, look down again. Suddenly I've got like a fucking rein in my hand. I don't know what's going on. It's kind of like an American Werewolf in London. Like I'm going through a transition. I'm slowly turning into a CrossFitter. It's slowly happening.
I'd like to see, mate.
Next thing you know, mate, you'll be on your level 1.
Yeah,
you won't know what hit you.
I can feel the change. I can feel the
I can
change.
just sit on the board, just Tom underneath it in big bold letters, CrossFit level 1 trained, and I'll be like, oh no.
I've already started looking at whiteboards to buy for my wads.
Mate, I can help you out. I've got tons of whiteboards.
I've already got a custom black marker pen. Yeah, but I think it's good to start off by saying, the Titanic That was an insurance scam.
What?
Well, it was an insurance scam, wasn't it? It was sunk on purpose for the insurance money.
Fuck's sake. I mean,
Two things. The first one, since then, I am actually considering going for my level 1 CrossFit.
I like it.
But it requires money, so I've got to consider that. It's not something I can just torrent online like everything else I do. And two, I've actually changed my opinion slightly on the Titanic thing. I think it was a U-turn gone wrong. I reckon they was trying to do donuts, like showing off, as you do after dark, like we do in a Halfords car park, and it's just gone wrong. Fucking wind it right into an iceberg. What a tip. Took the wind mirror off and everything. Do boats have wind mirrors?
I don't even want to...
They must do.
Do they have wing mirrors? What, a boat? Yeah. What, a fucking... The Titanic?
Fucking 3-point check in a boat without wind mirrors.
Right. Unfortunately, I've got to move on to this next
Alexa,
one, which is probably...
Do boats have wind mirrors? Oh, that's... I'll get back to you later. She's going off.
When did your Alexa ever fucking worked? I think in the last 7 episodes you've called her.
She's been fucking disconnected for ages since the last 3 times I've asked her something.
Fuck's sake.
Didn't get round to it.
Anyway, this is our this is the intro to our controversial ranking system.
Oh fuck!
So if you're easily
I had to
offended,
explain this to work, by the way.
off.
I had to explain this to work because one of
all of our own pet peeves and all the ones that were sent in, and we're going to put it into like a little ranking system. So we're going to keep it nice and simple. Probably just we think it's okay, we don't think it's that good, or we think it's total shit. Or Tom's fucking scale, which is a cracker. You go to sleep in your own bed. You go to sleep in a cell, or you go to sleep in Jimmy Savile's bed.
Forgot about that.
You don't know who Jimmy Savile is? Google him, and I'll answer all your questions.
But yeah, it's basically like a 3-point scale going from it's all right to this is annoying to geez, fucking hell, just stop.
If you've not listened to that episode, Pet Peeves, it's I don't know what episode number it is, but it's just called Pet Peeves. I think that's it. It's very entertaining, especially as we put a lot of people into bed with Jimmy, which is funny in itself. But I just want to quickly look at the chat there. That fucking had me going then. I nearly erupted. What do you think of that, Tom? Ryan's theory on why the Titanic actually
back
crashed.
To a deep sea straw theory. What if the Titanic incident was the cause of someone flicking the straw switch from blow to suck? Well, it's actually got some validity to it.
It has, hasn't it?
Jesus Christ.
It's a very good point.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
But what would happen? Do you imagine the carnage? I mean, that would flip the boat upside down.
I've got to triple read this because it does make a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean that would really fuck a massive boat up, wouldn't it?
It would fuck up, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, I like it. I think that needs. We'll work on that. We'll try and elaborate that. We'll get that on. Get that on a podcast. That definitely needs to make an appearance.
I like that.
Oh, this next bit's also about the Pet Peeves episode. So this kind of gives you the sort of the level we go to. This is me trying to end the episode. So I was trying to end it nice and normally. Unfortunately, Tom and Andy decided to then make episode 2.0 and go off for one. So yeah, I'll just play the clip.
There are a lot of shit PTIs. And that's the end of the list, lads. That was the fault. We ended with a bang.
We did.
Mate, I've got
I hope everyone's enjoyed
more
that.
pet peeves. So many fucking more pet peeves.
Well, we can always do a part 2 in the future.
We can. I mean, we didn't mention the big one. The big one, guys.
The big one?
Yeah, curling in the squat rack.
Well, you mean squatting in the curling rack?
Or squatting in the curling rack. That really annoys me.
Yeah,
when you want to go and do some sick bicep curls in the curl rack and you've got some cunt like squatting 200 kg. Oh, what are you doing?
I don't like people that are fucking right up against the mirror using dumbbells and you have to like worm around them and like, excuse me, can I have these tiny
we're going into part 2 of it, lads.
Or when they're
when
they're doing it actually right by the racks.
Yeah.
No, sorry, not by the racks. I mean the rack of dumbbells.
Yeah, and you have to.
And you want to get
like go.
Excuse me, sir. Can I?
You're like, can I get these measly tens?
We need to
no
stop
one lifts?
because this is definitely a 2-parter.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
for everyone out there listening, I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Give us your
Herbalife reps
thoughts on
as
what you
well.
think about our ranking.
Oh, anyone that reps Herbalife,
you're just gonna have to fade us out, Bill. Fade us out into an ending.
Yeah, he's already cut us out. It doesn't matter. He's already cut us out.
People that like leave stuff in their gym locker, but don't actually put a padlock on it. So you think, oh great, it's a locker thing. You open up, it's someone's fucking honking gym bag.
This is all getting cut out.
Or the worst one is when you go over to a machine, you're like, how many sets you got left, mate? And he's like, oh, about 15. You're like, screw the fucking now. Or, on the other hand, when someone comes up to you and goes, how many sets you got? And you go, 2. And they go, okay. And they just stand and stare at you.
Or when you're like, you've got loads of plates on the machine or the barbell, and they say, can I work in with you? And you go, yeah, sure. And they start taking all your plates off.
Start taking all shit off, yeah. You're like, put that back on.
Bill, just fucking
fade
it out.
We finished now. We finished. Fuck's sake, right. I hope you enjoyed the episode. For everyone listening, if you like it and you want to hear more, we'll do a part 2 because we've already started by the sounds of it. Get in touch. Let us know how you thought about the episode, what you thought about our opinions on the pet peeves, and if you've got any more, send them in and we'll get them ready for part 2 if that's what we do. So, lads, it's been a pleasure as always.
Wait a sec. I've got one more, and this is a fucking old men that just have one foot up in the changing room
and have their ball taken out,
ball sack just fucking hanging there. You ladies don't understand that.
Oh my god!
That it swings and we see it.
Yeah,
it's there,
and they're smacking.
We're gonna be.
They're smacking handfuls of talc up their fucking cods,
and we know we're gonna be like that, but we don't need to see that for another 40 years. That's not cool.
Oh, that's a good
week. See you later, guys.
I mean, since then, I am now that old man smacking talc up his cods. But Sam just have to comment in the chat box here saying, to be fair, Tom, at True Gym, probably should mention names, but yeah, at True Gym, there was no point putting a lock on when you could just pull to open the lockers. And I do know of an event he's talking about where someone I know proved how shit the lockers was by literally just grabbing the handle and pulling it open. It's literally ripped the whole locker off because the only thing securing these lockers was fucking thin plywood. It was just so bad. And I saw this person that we know mutually, it definitely wasn't one of us, do it one after the other, just rip, rip. But that's what happens when you train in Uxbridge. These things happen.
Fuck's sake.
It was him, by the way, not me.
Oh yes, this next one, I love it. This is. I'll just give you the sentence, and if you're a long-term listener, you might remember. It was obviously quite a while ago.
And other things he's done as well, and police might be interested in.
We are heroes, not the heroes they deserve, but the heroes they need. AKA Tom being the Joker, tough shit Joker. So you might be familiar. This had me in stitches when I was editing this. Absolute gold.
Hello boys, how we doing? Welcome back.
Good evening.
All right, mate. How you going, guys?
Well, what a good start.
Fucking hell.
What a great start.
Andy's bored already.
Literally, reading this paper is fucking boring me to death.
Oh, brilliant. That's filling everyone with fucking confidence, isn't it? The episode's going to be boring as fuck. I'm reading this, I'm bored already.
We're the reading side of it. Like, we're going to cut this up and say it's full of shit, or this is great, let's do this. But they don't have, this is what people listen for. They
don't have to read all the shit.
We're basically a verbal Instagram.
Yeah, we're like the middleman. We're the middleman. We cut out the bullshit. We are heroes. You know.
I won't go that far, but yeah.
Well, listen, we're
right.
We're not the heroes. We're not the heroes that they deserve, but we're the heroes they need. Did I just bastardise that? Is that what Batman says? He says it in one of the Batman films.
Or something like.
Yeah, one of them is.
No, what is it? They may not. The heroes they may not want, but it's the one they've got, or something like that. It's like tough shit, and that is it, guys. All the listeners.
Does he say that in
tough
Batman?
Shit. What tough shit?
Oh, Batman says it. Yeah.
Tough shit, Joker. And Gordon's there like, listen, I'm not good at accents, so I'm just going to win this now. But Inspector Gordon, he's a scouse, so for the sake of this demonstration, he's going to be a scouse. He's going to be like, oh fucking hell, Batman, why are you saying that for, mate? We can't be swearing. This is a PG-13. And Batman's like, I don't give a shit. Do you remember, like, the first Batman came out, Batman Begins, and he had, like, a relatively gruff voice, but it was normal. Then all of a sudden, Dark Knight came out, and he was just, like, full on, Like, what happened there? What happened there? Like, it's almost like a
It's like,
director
do
was
you not
like,
think someone should have told him? Someone should have said to him, shouldn't they? Like, do you think that's a bit too much, Christian? Maybe you should tone it down a bit, mate.
no. It was like, be more CrossFit, Christian. Be more CrossFit.
Fuck's sake, that was fucking
I
brilliant.
completely
There.
forgot about that.
Fuck's sake, tough shit, but that was good.
Jesus.
He said there, Scouse Taff. What do you mean by Scouse Taff, Kez? Was he dropping into a Welsh accent there, was he? Because I don't even know what accent he's doing half the time. They're so fucking random.
It's just I'm not good at accents. I just go with it, and if I cause offence afterwards, then I just let the chips land. Really.
Fall where they fall. I like it. So, okay, the next one is Tom. This is the one and only podcast you did in your living room. Does that ring any bells? You did one podcast in a different area, and it caused a bit of trouble at home.
Maybe.
I thought it'd be quite a short one, but we've gone into it. As
Well,
usual.
once you do all the editing and the weird shit gets cut out, I think there'll be about 10 minutes.
What weird are you talking about?
Well, speaking of weird shit, I want to know what this button does. Oh, that was quick. That was shit, weren't it? That was like really rapid, hang on. Oh no, I fucked it. That's my son's and all. Right.
This is why you're not allowed in the living room.
What does this do?
Yeah, this is why you're not allowed. This is why you've
There we
got to be in
go.
the kitchen.
Yeah, that's why I'm in the kitchen. I don't think I'm old enough to play with these toys. It does say for ages 2+, but mentally I don't think I'm quite there yet.
Well, no, you broke it already, so I don't think you're ready there.
Now, I think I'm working it now. If I pull this switch... Yeah, there we go. Happy days. Squared away.
Happy days, right?
And you've never been there again, Tom. That was the one and only episode you were in your living room for.
Yeah. I mean, that toy has kind of been since my son's walking now. It's been absolutely battered and destroyed. It's got like a whole toy chest now for the stuff, but it's one of those things where like half the batteries are dead in most of them, but I can't find out which ones are half dead. But when sometimes like a toy is dying on its last legs, and it's even when it's like you're not actually doing anything to it, it still goes off in the middle of the night and makes weird noises.
That sounds horrifying.
It is horrifying, and the thing is, there's fucking like half of them in there that are doing that in the middle of the night. I mean, most times I'm assuming that I am just imagining it, along with all the other things I tend to hear in my head. But I mean, I prefer to record in here because I've got everything I need in there. I've got my snacks, I've got my halls, I've got my cold and flu tablets, got
Your Cannibal coffee.
my Cannibal coffee rum, of which you can use Primal Training 10 as our discount code for 25% off. And I've got my McGill spine, and I've got my combi tools, which I got off eBay.
set.
I've not taken from any stores.
I like it. The next one is about our podcast T-shirts, which, funny enough, me and Tom are both not actually wearing, which is brilliant. Mine's in the wash. That's how much I wear it. Have you ever got yours to hand, Tom? Have you got...
No, you fucking put me on the spot. It's somewhere. It is somewhere.
But we did get some podcast T-shirts from our friends Trident Fitness Clothing. They made us some nice custom T-shirts. It was really nice. I wear mine quite a lot to the gym, and I think this is where we discuss them. And Tom goes off on some mad sales rant about how amazing they are.
Now, before we get into the episode, though, we need to make something clear. We have got our brand new T-shirts on. I feel like we should mention that.
We have.
Chat shit, get fit T-shirts. What are they? Olive green, I'd say.
They are OD. They are olive drab.
We'll put a picture on the post that goes live with it. But this is from our friends Trident Fitness Clothing. They're fans of the show. They got in touch and was like, "Do you want some T-shirts?" And obviously, I'm going to say yeah because I've bought their stuff before and it's normally pretty good. So yeah, they sent us out some free T-shirts.
It is
What
pretty good.
happened? I was asking this before, like fucking Tom chinned me off before the podcast because he's really rude. You see this nice side of him, guys, on the podcast, but I tell you what, he's a tyrant when we're not on. He's just ruthless. But basically, what happens if these start selling loads? Do we get like it's us? Do we get a bit of the profit?
I don't think they're selling these. These are like one-off exclusives for us.
Yeah,
they're
but
not selling.
what happens if people ring in and they're like, "I need this shit," because genuinely, this feels really nice. I'm not going to lie.
People want it. I mean, they can get in touch, and I'm sure we can sort something out.
Honestly,
Does feel
guys,
nice.
if you listen to the podcast, this is, and I'm not trying to be biased on that, but if you want to make me an ambassador, Trident Fitness, I'm game. But more importantly, this is a quite nice fitting top. I don't get many of them.
I've trained him on quite a few times. I've had people have been like, "What the fuck is that?" I'm like, "Well, take a knee, listen in, and then we talk about the t-shirt and the podcast. It's great."
It does feel very nice. I think is it 100% Egyptian silk or is it cotton? You know, either way, it feels really nice.
You've just made that up, haven't you? I've got no
I have.
Egyptian silk.
But either way, it does feel. It is a generally nice shirt, and it feels nice as well. I'm going to change my wheel. I want to be buried in this shirt.
Oh dear.
Yeah, it's that good.
I like it.
There you go. There's an endorsement. I'll be taking this shirt with me to the grave. Go to Trident Fitness.
I mean, I can't even fucking find
nice.
the shirt, so you know, I might have to readapt the wheel. It
Fuck's
is
sake.
somewhere. I just don't know where. A lot of my wardrobe's gone missing, to be honest with you. Oh,
Do you know what? I think I've got.
in fact,
Go on.
I've even lost my work trousers. So today I went and bought some. I went and bought some trousers from Asda, and it turns out they're actually women's trousers. I didn't realise. Oh, fuck's sake! I haven't got the receipt for them either. Fucking bin the receipt. I do this. I buy things. I bin the receipt straight away. I don't know why I do it. But you know, they was in the men's section. They've always been misplaced. It did say on the self
got some
scan at the
women's
time, oh, women's trousers. I thought, well, maybe it's just like sharing the same barcode. But when I had a closer look at the Hannah, had like a little pink sizing label, and when I put them on, I like something from The Witcher. Like they come up to my shins.
What are they like? Go, if you get them out, let's have a look. If we've got any female listeners,
You know, let me put.
if you want them in a chat, I think Tom will give them
Let me
away.
put them over the. Well, no, these are now my Mrs. birthday present. See, I'm
my
very
God.
thoughtful. But as you can see, they do tend to ride up a fair amount.
Oh yeah, a bit of ankle,
Bit of
like
ankle.
it. Very tight as well. Very
Oh, very
Yeah.
much so.
brilliant.
I'm going to keep them on. I'm not going to take them off.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Right, more controversy in this next one, Tom. You look like a hobbit.
Yeah.
Sam's up in your pants down tonight, isn't he?
Not literally, I hope, because these were easily unfoldable.
Oh, for God's sake. Tom, your cat's back for this one, but it's not actually
yeah, mate,
back
panic
in
then.
person.
Oh.
But this is the first mention of Rolf Harris. That's all I'm going to say. Let's play.
Well, you missed that, Andy. When you left, mate, you missed a big revelation from Tom. I'll let
What?
Tom explain.
Go on,
but
explain, mate.
We'll go back to his cat again.
Oh, I wasn't expecting to actually mention this, but yeah, going back to my cat, I forgot to mention as well. This wasn't to do with the obesity, by the way. It was something different. I can't remember what it was. But my cat actually featured on an episode of Animal Hospital.
What? Because how bad it was?
No, not because of the ham or the talking or the
What are you
obesity. I can't remember what it was. But I just remember that he went on Animal Hospital, and I actually met Rolf Harris. This was pre-paedophile days.
Was he grooming you? Was he like,
Do you know
"Come see
what?
my animals"?
I wasn't groomed, and I don't know whether to feel offended or not. Like maybe he just didn't fancy me.
Well, I'm just no. I want to know if he asked you to a party or anything like that. You know, he was like,
He
"Come to my
didn't,
party."
which is why now I'm a bit offended.
Oh, you're not sexy enough.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Why not me? Why not me?
what's that? I can change, Rolf.
I hope none of his victims are listening to
can
this.
change. How do we go from paleo to pedos?
Oh, this is awkward. There's another
I
one on
know.
the list.
Let's move
Not-
this on to the comical side of the
Like,
diet.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
I ain't got to apologise to Rolf, have I?
Yeah, add him to the list, mate. Add him to the list.
He should
You know.
apologise to me.
Well, he did touch you then.
No, he gave me a complex because he didn't touch me.
Right.
Christ.
I mean, how?
What?
I'm surprised you're not being cancelled yet. I'll be honest.
Why'd you let me carry on?
Because it's fucking hilarious. That's why.
You can actually fucking decide when to mute me during recordings and you just let me go.
I think I'm all about freedom of speech, Dom. If you want to go, if you want to be free on
Oh,
your,
in that case, there's a specific line there which would make a good book, and that's paleo to pedo. But obviously, we have to iron out the creases there in the context of what it actually means. It sounds like it's a bit of a downgrade.
Jeez. Oh, Tom, I've just read the next point, mate, and this. I don't even want to play it. It's literally word. I think it's borderline word. It's on the same train of thought of penis, which is not a good thing to say live on the
I might
podcast.
tend to have internet problems. Carry on, and we'll see what happens.
Lie about my age, I was 15 then. get your smokes. And
Sound
that
like
was it.
such a boomer, Tom.
Oh, Blockbuster. Do you remember Blockbuster?
Snap.
Oh, in the last couple of days, I used to love going to Blockbuster so I could see the films I was going to download and torrent later.
Brilliant. But,
Now we know why it closed down.
speaking of other things you can find on Tom websites, kids. So
Whoa!
we're talking about age.
Whoa!
Whoa.
Whoa!
I'm breaking
Absolute
character to
bullshit.
say I have no part of this at all.
100%. This is all built.
This is all built.
This is definitely getting
Oh,
edited.
hang a minute.
I'm making a
Edit
point.
the shit out
I'm
of
making
it.
a point.
No, I'm making a point.
No,
When you was telling us
just-
earlier that in the email show notes it said Bill show picture, what picture was you talking about?
Oh, fuck off. Don't make me sound like a fucking nonce. But no, when I say kids, I mean the episode is about kids. That sounds even worse.
It's so bad.
Please,
That's so
Again,
bad, isn't it?
sorry,
Please
all
get through
parents. Let him finish the full sentence before judging.
Yeah. Right.
Right, quick, let's nip this in
Anyway.
the bud, quick, fucking hell.
So last time we spoke about old people, this time we're talking about health and fitness in regards to children.
Thank God we got that context in there.
Fucking hell, I mean, that was carnage, wasn't it? I mean, I'm normally very professional on the podcast. I think I just went rogue
Yeah, I was
there.
going to say, I'm glad it was you that was on that end that time.
I know, yeah. Fucking hell, that was carnage. I noticed that one person actually left midway through that segment, so I'm going to assume that was one joke too far, which is it's only going to get worse. So it's probably for the best.
Not as many as the Jerry Adams comment, though, which is a bit weird. But carry on.
Yeah. So I said earlier you mentioned Hitler.
I did, yes.
Yeah. So this one is titled "My Führer" and myths on sweetness. Now, the reason the myths on sweetness bit's been added onto this one, if you're listening, is because there's been a lot of recently. Anyway, I've seen a lot of forums of people attacking sweetness again, saying that sweeteners are the worst things in the world. If you drink a Diet Coke, you're going to get cancer and all that nonsense. So this segment is mainly about my Führer, and then it leads quite nicely onto the myths about sweetness, which is just more of an important sort of takeaway.
I think we'll conclude at that point then. Moderation's key. Artificial sweeteners are not inherently going to fuck you up, but
Oh yeah,
moderation.
no one asked Tom what he
Did
did
you-
on this.
Did you forget about me, my Führer?
Oh, Tom, we.
Did he?
Fuck off. Fuck right off.
I just was not
I thought we-
expecting that.
I thought we
was
covered it quite
not-
well, Tom. I don't think we need your input, mate.
I was not expecting him to say my
We just said the Germans are really good at doing like this nutrition stuff. And we basically just reminded them of the Nazi fucking rule of the 1940s. You know what I mean? Like, brilliant.
Bill's
I did not.
to the Fourth Reich.
I am
Listen,
not in on this.
this is-
Hands are up.
This isn't the first episode we've offended the Germans. You know, we might as well just keep
dear.
on digging deeper. But right, I just want to bring up to a couple of things going way back to artificial sweeteners, by the way.
Sorry, Tom, mate. I thought we covered it really well. I didn't think we needed your input, mate. I was just going to wrap up there. But go
But
on.
what I just wanted to say was, in regards to does artificial sweeteners, let's say artificially sweetened drinks, do they lead to kind of like overeating other foods? Is there really an inherent link between artificial sweeteners and, you know, over consuming other like highly processed foods? I don't know.
Oh, my
I
microphone
don't know if
wasn't
it's because of
muted
the
then.
artificial sweeteners themselves, or it's to do with the actual hedonistic lifestyle that's involved with that. So what I mean is, chances are, if you're one to guzzle down loads of soda, whether it be diet soda or not, chances are that there's other kind of certain food choices you're making. Notice I'm not saying good or bad, but there's other certain food choices you're making.
Well, Tom, when you get a takeaway, what normally comes with a takeaway?
Oh yeah, no one gets a
Fish and
fucking
chips, can of
bottle
drink.
of
Pizza,
no one,
can of his drink.
yeah, no one gets a bottle of Peckham Springs, do they? You know.
Peckham Springs.
But on top of that as well, so in regards to some of the adverse health effects of artificial sweeteners, I heard cancer get thrown around. So we're kind of going back to the rat studies. In regards to that, this is quite a good one to kind of look into actually, and that is regards to, don't get me wrong, rats were given artificial sweeteners and they did grow malignant tumours. You know, it was cancerous cells. So you think, oh, fucking hell, yeah, okay, we're not rats, so we can't really apply that to us. But at the same time, you'd think, oh, that's still a worry. But here's the thing, like, I finally said it. Here's the thing. Yeah, here's the thing. One, these rats were fed, they were overfed artificial sweeteners from like, since they were fucking born, like when they was like 12 days old, all the way up until their death. So all the way throughout their life cycle, they were just constantly pumped with artificial sweeteners. on top of that, in regards to, so we just talk about the dosage of things, right? The toxicity is in the dose for most things. Now, in regards to rats, they were fucking fed. If we was to compare it to
Probably
humans,
something that we would consume. The amount we would consume, and they're like
Like-
big.
let's if I was to like just put it out my arse here, but let's just say we was drinking like a barrel of Diet Coke a day, every day, from birth until our deathbed, a barrel of Diet Coke a day. So it's like people extrapolate and, you know, overinflate the results there. Do you see what I kind of mean? I mean, I've actually got the paper here and there, and I'll put that in the show notes because it's a fucker to read because it's big, but it's really interesting to see how science can fuck you over sometimes.
Yeah, it's important to. That was an important bit to note there. Artificial sweeteners are not, you know, the end of the world as much as what people will tell you.
Still to this day, there's this stigma around them, and still to this day, you've got people making all kinds of wacky claims about them. But look, it's one of those things where the poison is in the dosage. The poison is in the dosage. I don't know what else to say. Like, the evidence shows that things like aspartame, etc., all relatively safe in appropriate doses. But you know, whatever.
I just noticed you had a cough there, Tom, which leads quite nicely on to the next one.
Does it?
This is titled "Tom takes action to avoid COVID transmission over the internet." This is another example of that. I wish we had video because the stuff you were doing was madness. But yeah, we're there.
Yeah, so at first I thought, you know what, I reckon it's just a cold. But if you think about it, you know, I just got ill a couple of days ago. And it was actually 2 weeks ago where we had Dean Hammond on the podcast. Now, 2 weeks is the exact incubation period for COVID. So I think I might have COVID, and I think I've contracted it through the internet, through Dean. So
and he did make a comment about the 5U towers outside your house.
He did. You see,
you know what? I'll edit that in. I'll edit that clip into this episode so people know the context of why you've got COVID.
So it's got to be something with those 5G towers outside of your house.
I mean, here's the thing. Like, there we go. Here's the thing.
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing. The anti-maskers are right. We don't actually contract COVID from person to person. We do it person to person, but it's actually through the internet. It's actually through the internet that we contract it. And that's why I'm being extra careful this week. I don't want you guys to contract it. So, as you can see here, I've taken precautions. I'm not going to wear a mask because that would be absolutely stupid. But I have put cling film on my keyboard.
You know, yes, as well.
So I've cling film my keyboard so you guys don't contract it. I'm taking 100%.
Isn't it supposed to be tin foil, Tom? Isn't it supposed to be tin foil? Or have you run out of tin foil?
Well, no, the tin foil's on my mouse.
Oh, he actually has as well. Oh, no.
The tin foil's on my mouse.
I really wish we were recording video here.
So yeah, that's it sorted. But then obviously,
just imagine his desk being covered in tinfoil in front of him, and just being like,
and his missus with a tinfoil hat looking at him like, "What the fuck are you doing?"
And we're also like because I've got headphones on, so like to pinch off any infection coming through the headphones, I've got like we put like a cereal bag or a sandwich clip.
What is that?
What you put around when you've opened up a bag of Frosties and you don't want to go in bags, it's like a little cereal bag clip.
You're basically squishing the wire so COVID can't get through?
Yeah, so it's a one-way system now.
Ah, okay.
I mean, oh fucking hell, I've opened it.
Oh, great.
Shit, are you guys all right? Are you guys okay? So I'll clip it back up. But yeah, I'm taking... don't sound good. I've taken all the necessary precautions this week, gents. Also, for a quick bit of, just to make sure I spray a bit of deodorant on the laptop. There you go. We're good. We're good to go.
We're good to go. Are we ready to start today's episode now?
Yeah.
Fuck, we've got COVID now, brilliant. Right.
What the fuck was that? Oh, dear.
I actually remember my missus coming down here the next day and finding like half my desk like cling filmed, tin foiled, serial clips on random wires, and she's like, "What the fuck what are you doing?" I was like, "It's a prop, it's a joke."
You know what makes me laugh, Thomas, is only recently she just started to stamp her foot and say, "Stop wasting household utensils."
That's what I was going to say. Is like, but then like eventually it was just a case that she'll come down and see me wearing like a tinfoil hat, and she'll just like, just Tom being Tom, But now it's got to the point where I'm actually being told, like, look, you're actually putting us in some financial instability here by constantly fucking using the tinfoil. So I've been told off several times now. I'm only allowed to use tinfoil for the appropriate usage.
Guys, do you reckon we should start a GoFundMe page for Tom's prop usage?
Yeah, if we had a Patreon just for my props, because, you know...
Tom's tinfoil fund.
And you know what as well is, like, obviously a lot of the stuff I throw away is recycling. So God knows what my fucking weirdo neighbours think when they see, like, my tinfoil hats in the recycling bin next day, my clean filmed keyboards, and God knows what else.
Fuck's sake. So, are your neighbours on the apology list? Because that is the next clip is just titled "The Apology List," which is, I think, has grown substantially over the last 12 months.
I heard them shagging the other night. It was weird.
You heard them shagging?
Yeah, proper weird, mate. Proper weird. I don't know what else to say. It was just fucking weird. I don't want to experience that ever again. But I'm glad to see they're getting on well. I mean, I think it was her.
Squat you. You've been a massive inspiration, and you've shaped my life.
Oh God.
Tom?
I'd like to thank God and
he's not real.
God.
and Jeebus.
Oh, right.
They're not real.
The flying spaghetti monster. That's another one.
Real.
The birds.
Yeah, bird Jesus. Do you reckon there's a bird Jesus?
It's probably
Could
not
be.
real if it was one.
Yeah, it could be. There definitely could be. I mean, they're already kind of like half
like-
angels already. I mean, you know, like they got
I
wings.
feel like that's more real than an actual Jesus.
Moving on to the apology list, and I suppose we better apologise to all the Christians and flipping religious people out there because Andy's just categorically said that it's not real. Brilliant. That's the first apology done.
Listen, there's people that believe in BCAAs, so you know, people could believe in God if they want to. It's a free country. You could believe what you want.
We do have some apologies though. Don't
To
be Tom.
everyone.
So literally, how many people do you reckon we've offended in the last 9 months?
Oh, okay. Off the top of my head, the first people...
Germans?
Germans. Germans are definitely
Fucking
one.
hell, yeah, Germans. That's multiple
On the topic
times.
of Germans, Brad Schoenfeld, because I said he looks like a German.
Yeah.
Not that's an insult, but
No?
Germans can be kind of villainous looking, you know. I don't know why, but people tend to
There's
think
the
Germans are
offence there.
villains.
That's
You didn't
offensive. I mean, you're offending them again.
But you threw it straight out there. When I'm
So
not
we're
going to
doing
be
an apology
offensive.
list, but we're offending them even more on the apology. I mean,
This is
NASA.
going to be long, isn't it? It's a long-winded podcast, considering we're going to say sorry and then offend them straight after.
There was that astronaut we offended as well. I can't remember his
yeah, the
name.
little Chinese one, wasn't it?
Yeah. Oh, there you go. China. We just had China to the list.
I don't think he's even Chinese, was he?
That's a lot of people. That's a big population. Yeah, the
The oil
population
over
of
Jim?
China.
Yeah, we
that
flagged
falls
up
in
a
with
whole
NASA.
company. NASA.
It was a shit product though, wasn't it? It was fucking turbo shit, that product. I mean, if you're easily offended, I'll probably turn off right now because it's probably going to get worse as we go
Probably
on.
going to get worse, yeah.
But yeah, we did have a whole list of apologies, but let's be honest, we're not going to apologise for anything because it's all in the name of comedy. If you think we're being serious about any of the jokes we've made over the last 9 months, then you probably need to find a new podcast because this isn't the podcast for you.
Fucking get your wet wipe and dry yourself up, you loser.
I did say some pretty derogatory and sexually violent things about cows.
You did, yeah.
So I want to apologise.
I was extremely offended about that.
I want to apologise to the bovine community.
Bovine community.
Especially, yeah. And also cavemen. I don't think there's any cavemen to apologise to anymore. So, you know, whatever, fuck them. But yeah, just I want to throw that apology out there anyway.
There's a whole paleo community. They all class themselves as cavemen.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
Oh dear. Fuck me. That was carnage. The way you just sort of got more and more into your little fucking hoodie then.
Why? Once again, I'm just going to repeat. Why don't you stop me when I get going?
For moments like this, Tom. I mean, moments like
Oh,
this.
for God's sake! Yeah, like I was actually supposed to keep like a physical copy of the list, but just fucking hell, I ain't got paper. I ain't got enough paper for it, mate.
Fuck. I know. Just want to quickly drop Sam in the shit because he'd be giving you a bit of shit today, Tom. Sam, what are your thoughts on the Germans? I know you're. I know
No. Right, moving on. Let's go.
Well, this is a bit more of a funnier one. Back to the we're going on to the Christmas special ranking system here. This is where we introduce it. I don't know how pissed we were at this point because we did have quite a few drinks on the old Christmas special. If you've not listened to that, it's a good laugh anyway, even if it's not Christmas. But yeah, we'll jump into that one.
as is our Christmas special, we've got some. This is a pretty cliche one. You've probably listened to a few Christmas specials now on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, whatever, and gone, oh, everyone's doing this one. Yeah, brilliant. Fuck it. But have they got a tier system as good as this, or a tier system as robust as this? I don't think so. Let's talk you through it. Tier 1, God tier. All right, okay, that's a bit cliche. Everyone has God tier. Tier 2 is a night in bed, so you might start to feel this is a bit familiar now from one of our previous episodes. Tier 3, we've gone with a new one now. Tier 3 is a 1-to-1 personal training session with the one and only Scott U. And then the very bottom tier, Tier 4, we've got an old favourite coming back. Jimmy's back. Tier 4, you spend the night with Jimmy. For context, that's Jimmy Savile, the
radio DJ. only
Everyone
famous for being a DJ, nothing else.
Yes, that's Jimmy returning again. He's made a few attempts, but recently we have had to retire him, haven't we, Tom? Jimmy has gone. You're muted, Tom.
I was muted.
No, me,
you're right. Weren't me. BBC muted me.
Not this again.
Yeah, BBC were muting me, mate. Can't be talking bad about Jimmy.
We cannot indeed.
Completed the 30 miler, Jimmy.
Sam hasn't replied there. That's a shame.
Thank fuck for that. Just keep it.
He's definitely bottled it.
Keep it there. No more talk about Germans. Don't mention the war.
Fuck's sake. Oh, this next one is absolutely brilliant. I'm not sure if Jess is listening. I hope she is, because if she's not listening, when I'm home tomorrow, I'll be very upset.
I was laughing. Yeah.
Sam, this is recorded, unfortunately. I see Sam's got no bottle there. He's not willing to let his opinions be known to the world, which is fair enough.
Let's keep it that way.
This is Andy's Terry's chocolate orange. He makes a little noise on this one, which had me absolutely crying. If you've listened before, you know that Andy was a big fan of food. Every time he ate food, he'd get very excited and very vocal about it. And this little sound bite was pretty entertaining.
And the second thing I want to address, this is kind of like just before we went live here. It's to do with Andy's 15 Terry's chocolate oranges. So we won't go into how he's received these Terry's chocolate oranges, but he's got a. He's definitely not stolen them from Her Majesty. Technically, you've stolen a Terry's chocolate orange surplus from the Queen. 'Cause that's the Queen's property.
No, she gave them away, and I just decided to take more than what was necessary.
Personally.
Well,
Yeah, personally.
He's personally dropped off some Terry's chocolate oranges to the.
she fist bumped me and said, "Good job, mate.
Here's your Terry's chocolate oranges.
Here's your 15 Terry's chocolate oranges."
But that is an excessive amount of Terry's chocolate oranges. I mean, to like our non-British normal viewers, a Terry's chocolate oranges. How do you even describe a Terry's chocolate orange?
Here we go.
It's just a ball of chocolate, isn't it?
Oh, it's
Pure
delicious, and it comes away in like singular
Segments.
pieces. Oh,
It's like an orange. It's basically like a normal orange.
it's a normal orange.
That makes a lot of
but
sense.
full of goodness.
I've got to play it again.
Singular
Segments.
pieces. Oh,
It's like an orange. It's basically like a normal orange.
it's a normal orange.
That makes a lot of
but
sense.
full of goodness.
I've never heard someone get so excited about a fucking Terry's chocolate orange in my life.
I mean, just so our viewers are aware, this may or may not be one of the reasons why Andy had to leave the podcast. Because of his review of the 15 boxes of Terry's chocolate oranges. I mean, once
I heard the Queen wasn't very happy.
Once again, this was around the time we wasn't really doing video footage, was it? But obviously we could see the video, and all we could see was these surplus boxes of Terry's chocolate oranges.
Yeah.
You could get white ones now.
Yeah, no, yeah, fucking
they're mega.
bigger range now.
I don't mind them. I'll tell you what, though, I did have this discussion with my missus the other day about like, how do you open up a Terry's chocolate orange? Do you smash it on your kneecap, like I do, or do you just drop it on the floor? What do you do?
I'd rather not drop my food on the floor. Like,
Well, no, it's in the wrapper. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
to
but once
split
it opens, it could split everywhere.
Well, how do you usually do it?
Yeah. Well, you just give it a good whack, don't you?
What do you
Bit
fucking
of
punch
palm.
it like?
Oh, no, a bit of palm action.
I don't know. What you fucking like iron palm your Terry's chocolate orange?
yeah, get fucking cherries.
I've been doing it on my knee all these years, and then I wonder why I've got chronic knee bursitis.
Fuck's sake.
And
How does everyone else crack their chocolate? There
flat
we
the
go.
other half's
Eddie's
head.
throat.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, brilliant.
Cracking.
That sounds like a very
Literally
abusive
cracking.
relationship.
No, it just sounds like someone that
Those
knows how
things-
to open up a
those
Terry's
things are
chocolate
solid.
orange.
Fuck's sake. Oh dear, I don't think it was going to be that one. I'm not sure if Colleen's in. She said she might be dropping in, but Colleen she's been on a couple of times. She's a world record holder in the skier, pretty incredible athlete, and she's also a police officer and a mother as well. So she's very busy. I'm not sure if she's in this chat at the moment because she said she was working quite late tonight. But we've got a clip here. I thought it would be best to play it as a highlight because this is her straight after her world records. And I think she broke like 3 on this attempt, which is pretty incredible. And I managed to get a phone call with her literally moments after she finished. So what we're going to do is a couple of back-to-back best bits now. We'll have me talking to her on the phone. You get to hear her. And then we'll go into her weirdest arrests because she actually goes into some of a pretty funny one. I think Tom knows which one's going to play. But yeah, she had a pretty... a vocal arrest, I'll say.
Hello.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. I was waiting for the code to come up to make it official.
Is it official? Are we in? New world record, is it in?
Yeah, so I've got an official code which I'll send off tomorrow. And they'll let me know within 24 hours if I've got... Let me count. Hang on. 1, 2... 3 world records, and I broke 2 others earlier on doing it. So
You broke 2 others, so 5 records?
Yeah, so so I basically, from the continuous ski, I overtook a guy in Britain, so I'm now number 1 in Britain.
Oh my God.
And then I overtook an American guy, and then I obviously overtook the French guy, so that meant that I just kind of I went through like a hurricane. So it will officially come out as 1, 2, 3 records. Yeah, maybe 2. They might just clump 2 of them together, but technically it's 3. But if you add all the ones I've smashed on the way through, it's 5.
I mean, you sound pretty fresh, Clean. I'm not going to lie. I mean, if Andy was listening to this, he'd be thinking, have you just broken 3 world records?
No, I feel really good. And it's kind of like my little thing to sprint at the end. To see if I can do it.
You went full CrossFit there, didn't you?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
You should have got the butterfly involved. That would have been good.
And I can't do that one. Oh, look, I'm so appreciative of you popping in, like, and sending messages and stuff and watching.
Oh no, probably looked really good. I mean, it was amazing just watching how like calm you were the whole way through. I mean, how'd your arms and legs feel? They're all right, are they all?
Yeah, they're fine. So obviously, I've been being iglooed just about every hour. So I've been using. Someone suggested, because I don't drink, someone suggested get wine bottle coolers.
Okay.
So I bought them and put them in the freezer, and they just wrapped really nicely. They're Velcro around your elbows and your triceps. So I've done that, and then I had loads of ice packs, loads of Ultra, loads of deep heat, and just kept myself really, really calm. And every time I thought I felt a niggle, I was just careful. So the first 12 hours, I held the 9,000 pace, and then I felt on the last little bit of the first 12 hours, I felt a little niggle in my elbow. I was like, right, ego, leave it behind. Let's drop to 8,500, which is a lot more comfortable. So I did that, and then I don't actually remember it, but apparently I hit a wall in the 20th hour. I remember I was talking away, and then apparently suddenly I just stopped talking, and there were beads of sweat coming off into my nose, and I just went really white. And they were trying to talk to me to ask if I was all right, and I was just staring at the screen. But apparently I was like a robot. I waited until I'd finished the set, and then staggered sideways and laid down and asked someone to tuck me in. And then I was in trouble, like, oh, something's wrong.
God, so really, nearly went all wrong then, didn't it?
Yeah. So it all went horribly wrong. And then one of the people said, oh, look, I think she's not going to do it. And one of the guys screamed, the guy who owns the gym, get her off that floor now and make her move. So they kind of picked me up and dragged me around the gym until my legs start working again. And then I came right.
Yeah, then you
so
finished
it's strange because my nutrition was fine. So, and then I was fine. But what I done was I thought, right, well, I'll drop it to 8,000 so I can sort of keep calm. And keep my heart rate right down. And I think possibly my temperature was going up a wee bit as well. So I did that. So I've done less metres than I hoped, but I still did 290,000 metres, so that's not bad.
Well, I mean, at least you finished it, because you could have, if you've kept going at the pace you were, you could have risked not finishing at all, wouldn't you? So
I would never have finished it if I tried to maintain the pace. So we just strategized. I said, can I still beat them at these paces? And we worked out what I have to do each hour to make sure I still beat the record, and I just done that. So
that's incredible. I'm looking forward to getting you back on. We'll get you back on the podcast in the new year, and we'll talk through the whole thing. The bits I saw anyway, it looked pretty good. I mean, it was good. They were with you the whole time, were they? Like your son and your husband, were they the whole time?
No, they popped in and out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I had friends and the gym owner stay overnight with me, and people were just popping in and out during the day and the evening. They were having training sessions around me, and because I had like a little taped off area, and everyone just kind of worked around me, which was great. But luckily, it wasn't too busy, so yeah, I would just kind of pop back and forth occasionally.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So that was the warm up, wasn't it? For something bigger that's coming soon. When are you releasing that? When are you announcing it? Is it soon? You're gonna.
I have just told my PT.
Oh.
But we won't put it up until we've told you guys on the podcast.
Oh, brilliant!
Nice,
yeah, that's what.
Nice for people to know. So
yeah, that'd be good. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
I just wanted a load of witnesses. The reaction was exactly what I expected. Yeah, he won't have any hair tomorrow, poor bloke.
Oh no.
So cool. All right then, I better go and let me go and have a bath.
Yeah, I know. I'll let you get away. Well done. Well done again. I'll speak to you soon.
Thank you very much. Cheers. See you
Bye.
later. Bye.
I think the next one should just play straight into it now.
Hello everyone. Welcome back.
Good evening.
Welcome back to Colleen.
Right, you're being a knobhead now because you're asking me questions, but I can't do it because I'm trying to get out of here.
I think we're going to need a bit of context of what's happening and why Andy sounds like he's in a school
I'm
dinner
fucking
hall.
running now, look. Dun, dun,
my.
dun, dun, dun.
Oh, God,
dun,
don't drop the
dun,
plate,
dun.
Andy. Oh, imagine that. Oh, nice kick through the door. Nice. Oh, God, it's going to happen now, isn't it?
This is the most mental opening to an episode I think we've ever done.
Are you screen recording as well, Bill? Because we're going to need a lot of context for this.
I am, yeah. I am, yeah.
Oh, it's going.
Andy, do a jump.
Whoa!
What is going on? What is happening there?
What's going on? I'm going so fast right now.
Colleen, can you even see this? Oh well, I'll send you some footage. You'll see some of it because this is mental. There.
Is it bad that I was actually hoping for the plate to go flying?
Yeah.
Right,
He'll drop it now.
back in, gentlemen
Happy days.
and ladies. Oh, right. I'm in. I don't think I've ever run so fast in all my life.
I tell you what, though, Andy, that was some skill keeping the plate in your hand.
I mean, if you've not seen the YouTube channel, if you're listening or you're in the audience now, if you search Chat Shit Get Fit in YouTube, obviously with the little star in the name like it is on the podcast thing, it should go off our YouTube channel and you can actually see live footage of that happening. It is pretty entertaining watching Andy run through corridors with a plate of chili con carne and then Tom telling him to jump and then he does like a little hop.
Pretty
and then
sure
it's just chaos.
there was also the same episode where Andy left his microphone on when he went and had a piss.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That as
We
well.
heard that in high definition. Great.
Yeah, I think that episode, if we listen to the full thing,
Was a low point.
It was part 2 of our chat with Colleen. We had 2 parts, and if you saw in the people who are in the audience there, they would have seen her put in the chat. But her next challenge she announced on the podcast is 1,000,000 meters.
Yeah.
Which is fucking nuts. Bear in mind, I think she did 290,000 in 36 hours. So you bear in mind how much longer that's going to take her to do 1,000,000 meters. I think she said it's going to take her like a week. Which is outrageous. If you ever used a ski erg before, you know how difficult those things can be to use.
I mean, that's now one of the first things I do is when, because we actually have a ski erg at my gym, and my gym is a commercial gym, so a lot of people don't actually know what it is. And when I do introduce them to it, and they realise how difficult it is, one of the first things I say to them is, I've actually had the opportunity to speak to someone who has a record in this, and has spent 36 hours on it, and they've just had like a 10-minute EMOM on it. And I'll tell them that someone's done it for 36 hours straight, and they're just like,
what?
Yeah, it's unimaginable. Yeah, that's my little low-key
Very,
flex.
very...
Yeah, well, I know someone that,
Yeah, I know somebody who can do it. As well as being an incredible athlete, she is also a police officer, and this is her telling us about her weirdest arrest, which is bizarre.
Next one. What's your weirdest arrest?
Ooh. Oh my God! It sounds like she's got to really think about this.
She's got stories. I know that you've got thousands of stories. Some that you're not even allowed to tell us, but we need to know.
Yeah. My weirdest arrest. I'll have to come back to that one because there's been
All right,
a few. Oh, actually, I can tell you one of the funniest ones.
Go on, here we go. Yes, we're in.
Okay. So it was about, I don't know, 6 o'clock in the morning, and a farmer rang up saying that he could hear singing coming from somewhere in his farm. And we're like, right. So I happened to be in the area, so he let me onto his farm, and I could hear the singing. He wasn't imagining things. And I found a naked man in a tree singing at the top of his lungs. And he'd obviously...
That's awesome.
And I had to coax him down by singing back at him.
Fuck off!
I think so.
No way.
You had to sing at him. No.
I had to sing at him to get him down, yeah.
This is just normal farmyard behaviour, though. This isn't weird.
We took him to hospital, and it turned out that because he wasn't known to the police at all, and you could kind of tell, like, if someone's abused their body for a long time, they have, you can see skin lesions and things like that, and there was nothing. He was kind of what I'd call fresh, and someone had spiked his drink the night before, and he was very lucky it was summer, because he'd obviously got hot, probably ecstasy or something, stripped off, and was climbed a tree quite high.
Oh, Christ. And you had to sing to him.
I had to sing to him to coax him back down again. So yeah, it's probably my weirdest one.
I know. I think Ellie's still in the audience. I know she's a police officer as well. I wonder if she's got any arrests that will beat that, because that was certainly a weird one, finding a naked man in a tree and having to sing to get him down as a.
And just to clarify, no, Erin, it wasn't me. Not that time.
I don't know. You tried defending it at that point. You were like, "Wow, it sounds like normal farmyard behaviour," as if like it was a normal thing. I was
in another tree at a different time in a different place.
Fuck's sake. So the next one is this is another crack at this. I like this one. Ice baths and Train Primal advert butchery. So if you're unaware what Train Primal is, it's a fitness community that I own. I think there's a few people in the audience here actually members of it. It started not long after the podcast actually, so that'll probably have a year anniversary coming up soon. And that's where we offer, training programs and a sort of a safe community where everyone comes together and enjoy health and fitness. We've got 3 sort of different programs, so to speak. We've got Primal Apex, which is our functional fitness competitors program. So that's if you're into sort of things like CrossFit, etc. You want to sort of compete to that. That's the sort of program for you. We've also got Primal Fit, which is our strength and conditioning program. So it's still got kind of the same core principles as Apex, but it's stripped back a little bit and it's tailored a little bit differently for those who've only got up to about an hour a day to get their training in. And then we've got Primal Life, which is our sort of everyday health and fitness program, 4 days a week, gets people moving, gets people to start to enjoy fitness, and then as they get more into it, they can maybe progress up to Fit and up to Apex. And we've got a really good community, a really great bunch of coaches, loads of exciting stuff behind the scenes. And unfortunately, in this next clip, we tried to advertise it, and it goes horribly wrong as we link it with ice baths. And I'll go ahead and play this clip.
And these guys loved it. They were like, "Always do this. Come home from training. This is my process." And it looked really cool. And I think it's probably because they had barbecue on the go, and it was really hot. It was in America. Do you know what I mean? You couldn't do it in England, could you?
It's a social thing, isn't it? It's a laugh, isn't it? People love jumping into an ice bath, like, "Hey, look at me."
Yeah. I wouldn't do it in England. Could you imagine to be sat in your garden? It's just raining and bird shit everywhere. Sat in a wheelie bin.
Fucking cat shit.
Just cat shit. Yeah. Oh, just sat there, and your wife or husband just looking at you, thinking, "What the fuck have I married? What the fuck are you?" And your kids are like, "Oh, nice one, Dad. You're a bin guy now."
This is the most British response to cold water immersion I've ever heard. A bin guy.
And then, if you're still looking for that extra step, join Train Primal.
You meant to say Train Primal then?
Absolute monsters.
We've absolutely butchered that ending there, haven't we?
I'm fucking right. You're just gonna have to edit the whole thing. Right, don't do drugs, kids.
It's okay. I've made things worse. I tell you, it would be sick if you got like the Train Primal stencil on one of those green wheelie bins.
Ooh.
And then you could sell them on eBay.
Primal ice baths. We're going to take over the world.
Ice baths.
Primal ice baths. Right.
Oh, there you go.
We're going to get it done.
So what we're going to do is just steal bins and then just put a sticker on the front and then sell them.
Right. Let me just quickly rewind to the beginning of the episode. Ignore everything we just said. Ice baths are the future. Ice baths are amazing. Primal ice baths, get yours now.
I mean, look, I just want to say, cryotherapy chambers, so not cold water immersion, but the cryotherapy chambers, it costs like up to 80 quid to go in those. So a green wheelie bin could be a lot cheaper than
And then
that.
just put the lid over.
And yeah,
A
exactly.
primal wheelie bin.
And
a
it doubles
primal
as
wheelie
storage for your ice.
Yeah. And we'll even put a little handle on the inside so you can close it properly so it doesn't bang your head. No, they
Throw in
will.
a 3 months programming with each wheelie bin.
There you go.
And we'll even wash out the bins for you.
All right, Andy, that's too far, mate. I'm not a fucking bin cleaner.
Whoa!
Oh,
So you're just
always-
gonna get so you're just gonna give someone a shitty bin. Nice one.
just going to add bin men to the offensive list.
Yeah.
See you later, guys.
Cheers, Bill. Bye bye.
Fuck's sake. Unfortunately, that idea never really did take off. I know it's a shock, isn't it? Green bins with a sticker on to sell in the thousands was never going to take off. But yeah, that was an interesting advert to say the least.
Missed out on an opportunity there, mate.
We did, yeah. Maybe we'll do it again. I mean, what do you guys think in your? I know Sam's very business savvy. What do you think, Sam? Primal bins.
Summer's round the
Get them
corner.
on there. Get them on the new website. Next one. I'm not sure if Kez is still in the chat. I'm not sure if he's managed to stir along. But the next one is a little bit of Herbalife corruption. So it's more of a bit more of a, I don't know. It's not as funny. Well, I suppose it could be funny if you think about it. But it's where Tom sort of goes into the corruption of Herbalife and how it's
not
basically
funny,
the whole
it's a
business is
serious
corrupted.
problem.
It is a serious problem because people are getting killed, I suppose.
Do you
Yeah,
want
but
me to
it's
lower
just
the
yeah.
validity of things? Do you want me to just put that on and just...
The hat's out. I love it. Hat is now live on air. But yeah, Kez, if you are in there, mate, feel free to live call in at any moment because it'd be good to catch up with your
too much wind resistance.
ex Herbalife antics. So let's get into this.
Now let's get into the science of things. 2019, a study came out. Let me try and find it. It was quite a big deal as well. So yeah, in 2019, a study came out, and it was called "Slimming to Death: Herbalife Associated Fatal Acute Liver Failure, Heavy Metals, Toxic Compounds, Bacterial Contaminants, and Psychotropic Agents in Products Sold in India." When this paper came out in 2019, I remember it coming out. Like literally in the first week of it coming out, it was a fucking big deal in the fitness industry and amongst the nutritional world. It was pretty much like putting Herbalife in the grave. And then say 2020 rolls around, and for whatever reason I decided to go and look up this study again, and suddenly it's disappeared. Like I said, it's been retracted. And I thought at the time, what the fuck's going on? This is really weird. Anyway, it turns out this study was retracted for legal reasons. And what had actually happened was Herbalife had actually threatened to pursue legal action against the researchers behind this study. Just to confirm, in regards to this study, the Herbalife products were associated with the death of a... Oh God, I can't remember now. I can't remember her age, but it was a young lady, basically. I'll tell you what, Bill, you might have to edit this. Let me quickly check. I can't actually find the details
it's not real.
of the age of the lady because it's been fucking redacted. Because it's been taken down. I shouldn't laugh. It's awful what happened. But what goes to show is that Herbalife actively took legal action to get this study removed. But it doesn't end there. And I just figured this out today, actually. But there's actually been several other studies finding the exact same thing. All the way back in 2010, there was a study by Hepatol, and they found once again acute liver injury induced by weight loss herbal supplements, where Herbalife was named. There was a separate paper other than that, and that was this is all the way back from October 2007. So this is over 10 years ago now. Association between consumption of Herbalife nutritional supplements and acute hepatotoxicity, which is basically liver failure. There's a third study, and this one's back from 2007 in July. Herbal does not mean innocuous. 10 cases of severe hepatotoxicity associated with dietary supplements from Herbalife products. 3, and that's not even including the one that was redacted, 3 studies associated with Herbalife products. Now, this is what
must be awful.
No, listen, at the end of the day, Kez doesn't know. Kez doesn't know because he's not told. He's not told. It's not Kez's fault. Technically, unless a distributor actually knows what's going on, they're just in the dark just as much as anyone else at the end of the day. And it goes in hand with the shady dealings of Herbalife as a business.
You'll have people at the top of the chain who have a fucking Scooby.
But this is where things get really interesting, and that is there was a separate paper which was called Revisiting Acute Liver Injury Associated with Herbalife Products. And basically they concluded that the article does not objectively support a causal relationship between reported cases of liver injury and Herbalife products or ingredients. So this particular person was saying that actually Herbalife is not behind all these liver failure cases. And then I saw this letter that was sent. I fucking deleted it. No, it's not. So this was sent to the Liver International, which is basically it's a journal of medicine, but it's specific to the liver. And once again, in this article, just basically justifying Herbalife, saying it had nothing to do with liver failure. Now, this article this letter and the article I just mentioned previously, both written by the exact same person, which I thought was a bit funny. So just out of curiosity, I decided to Google who they was. Christy Applehands. That's not Apple Hands. Apple Hands. It sounds German, I think. And when you actually Google her, you actually see that her employment is. What do you think?
Herbalife.
Yeah, she's employed by Herbalife.
That's conflict of interest, isn't it? There, that's a complete bias of paper, isn't it? I mean,
now, how did in regards to the study that was originally redacted, so let's say the fourth study, they're now in the coffin with Herbalife. The actual researcher took to Twitter last year to air what had happened, and this is what he said. So you got to bear in mind, English is not his first language. To be fair, it's not my first language, so you're gonna have to bear with me while I try and kind of paraphrase what he said on Twitter. This is a huge issue. This is in regards to supplements and liver, etc. Big industry, powerful lobby. They crush critique with money and power. I have experienced it firsthand. This is the researcher behind that paper. Here is my story. Last year in March, I published an article based on my experience of a patient who died after consuming Herbalife products. One day, I received a legal notice from a lawyer's firm based in Delhi, advising me to provide proof of evidence regarding my study, or face heavy legal action. Not lethal action, although to be fair, it wouldn't surprise me with Herbalife. A defamation suit. Rightfully, again, answered legally to, as I said, English is not his first language. Basically, this researcher said he was ready to fight in court. They did not respond back, but then they did something terrible. They started harassing the journal, so that's the journal that this research was originally published to, its editorial board, and served multiple legal notices to them behind our back. This was the last straw. The journal editor-in-chief was threatened and the publisher panicked. So the journal did a re-review as per guidelines, and the re-review of my study came clean with no errors. So therefore his research, there was nothing wrong with it. There was nothing dodgy about it. It was scientifically sound. No mistakes were found, and the review committee advised them to retain the published study, so that means keeping it up. But more legal threats were directed by the company to the journal. So without my consent, and without my co-author's consent, the journal and the publisher decided to remove the article from all online sources to satisfy the big company and reduce legal tension. So the article now reads, taken down due to legal reasons, basically.
Fucking hell. I mean, that just says it all with Herbalife, doesn't it? Kez, if you're there, mate, feel free to do a live call-in. I think people would be interested to see the...
I don't know why I said defamation. I meant defamation. But yeah.
Fuck's sake. I mean, I can't believe you thought you were being burgled when Kez started talking.
Well, all I heard was a Scouse accent, and I was like, oh, fuck, it's happening. You know.
He's not even Scouse, is he? Is he Scouse? I don't even know. Kez, are you Scouse?
Kez, are you Scouse? To be fair, anything, north of Doncaster for me is Scouse. Way before then, to be honest with you. Peterborough. Kez did say, I cringe looking back, but hopefully it was a good, honest account of what it was like. Yeah, it was. It was really good to hear someone that had been on the inside. The thing is, I'm pretty sure I mentioned this on the podcast at the time as well. It's like... It's like you didn't learn your lesson and take anything away from that, and not take anything away from that. You kind of realised that what you was doing was not quite ethically right. You decided to do something about it, which was one, stop doing it, and two, actually speak out against it. So if anything, you can have my badges, Tom. Yeah, fucking hell. But yeah, I mean, no, Kez, fair play to you for coming on the podcast and telling it like it was, etc. I mean, it gave me a lot more inside information as to how the business worked. Just bloody awful.
Yeah, hopefully educate a lot of people as well. It was really well received as well, actually. Hang on.
Not by Herbalife.
Let's see if we can. Is Kez in? Kez, you in, mate?
Oh, this is awkward. He has no idea what he's doing.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
I thought he was going to say, Kez, just stand to the side for the remaining time.
Yeah, just move out of the way. We'll edit this out later, yeah. Oh, do you imagine? That was awesome. It was really good. If you haven't heard that episode yet, I think it's just called Herbalife. Definitely worth listening to. Really good story of hearing his journey.
That was definitely a prison cell in the background. I don't want to keep on jumping on this Scouse thing, but, just saying. Just saying.
All right, let's move this on before
Those
you
high barred windows.
Oh, Tom, this I thought he's not Scouse. I was thinking he's definitely not Scouse. Fuck's sake. Oh dear.
Just chucking that in there.
This is quite a recent clip. This one's titled "Tom overdosing on cannibal coffee maximum charge," which we've already mentioned. But this is
I just want to say my missus is from Yorkshire as well, so this looks really bad on me. I'm just completely,
You're southernised.
Yeah, southernised. Anything north of the Thames, to me, is, northerners. I'm not going to go
north
there.
Of the Thames? What do you mean north of the Thames? What do you mean
Anything north of the Thames?
Because you're north.
Well,
yeah, but that's north of the river. You're north of the river.
Yeah, but I'm living up north now in Ruislip, but originally I'm from South London.
So okay, I get you. Right, okay.
living up north in Ruislip.
Yeah, I was about to say it's not
in
north
West
at all.
London.
Anyway, let's hear you overdosing coffee.
Started doing this already.
What I basically got here was I got Cannibal Coffee's maximum charge. So when first impressions when I got out of the packaging was, the packaging itself is really swanky. I mean, it's not like when you buy a pack of a bag of Harrogate coffee from Sainsbury's. It's that flimsy tinfoilness. It's got a nice design to it. It's got that kind of packaging where it feels like I said, it's got a thick waxiness to it. It's not like crumpled up tinfoil. So straight away, like, it's got really nice packaging. One thing I do like about this actually is straight away it actually has the label on it. So yeah, caution, high caffeine content, which as you're about to find out, I actually found out later on. Straight away it tells it's a medium grind. Something I particularly like about this is that it does say the date of when it was roasted, and it's actually written in pen as well, which I like even more because that's quite personal.
Yeah,
it doesn't feel like it's come off of like some automated robot factory, coffee facility. It actually feels quite personal.
It's like someone who's made it, has gone, finished touch, here you go. Like,
this
is more or less giving
fresh,
it to you. Yeah,
and here you go. And actually, this was roasted at the beginning of this month, actually. So yeah, super fresh, and it's just that little tiny thing there that I really, really, really like. So at first, I wasn't aware that there was all different kind of products you did in regards to the coffee. So I wasn't aware that maximum charge was, according to caffeineinformer.com, the 5th strongest coffee on the planet, but also the number 1 strongest coffee in the UK. It would have been nice if Bill had told me that beforehand. Now, there was instructions on your website how to brew this particular coffee. So it's not like, the instructions are wrong. I was the one that was in the wrong. I have no idea how it happened, but I kind of like mixed up the dose. So I don't want to kind of like shortcut to the sciencey stuff here, but usually in regards to ergogenic effects, like the benefits of caffeine on exercise, it's recommended to be 3 to 6 milligrams of caffeine per kilo of body weight. Now, for me at my size, that's between 500 to 600 milligrams. Once again, I don't know how I got to this number. Some things are best left unknown. It was an unthinking moment, but I later found out I accidentally had 1,200 milligrams of caffeine.
Fucking hell.
As I said, it was an unthinking moment. Some things are best left unexplained. Math is not my forte. I think what it was like I had to deal with milligrams on my scales, but then I had to deal with millilitres as well. And, combining those two just kind of like sent me into an overload.
So you must have just used half the packet when you brewed it.
Yeah, in hindsight, looking at it now, it is folded halfway.
Fuck's sake.
This was like taking a speedball. So I actually had the coffee, and about roughly an hour later, I said to my missus, "Look, I'm going to go out for a walk because I'm starting to feel a bit jittery. I'm getting way too ahead of myself here." So I've always been Billy Big Bollocks, and I've always told people, "Look, I drink caffeine every day. I have about 6 coffees every day. I'm caffeine insensitive. Caffeine just doesn't affect me anymore." As we found out, that's actually not true. It's far from true, because I went out for my active recovery walk. I came back. I picked up my day sack loaded with 20 kilos. And I was like, I need to go out. Like, I really need to go out now. And before I know it, I actually did a personal best RFT spontaneously. And this was whilst fasted as well. So yeah, that was awesome. I did like a personal best on the maximum charge coffee. And then the next couple of days, I kind of just like, I don't know what happens within those next couple of days. It's all really jittery
what's
to
the
me.
phrase? Is it seeing sounds?
I was singing sounds.
I like that.
Have you seen like Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas? It was like that, but with coffee. So I was in backcountry. I was in shit state.
So I didn't actually mention this at the time, but it was actually a lot more serious and scary than how I portrayed it on the podcast. I actually developed an eye twitch for 2 days. That eventually it went by itself after a while, but for 2 days I had like a twitching eye. Fucking really crazy. Obviously my own.
So if you want a bag of this coffee, go to cannibalcoffee.co.uk and use code Primal10. But probably don't use as much as Tom, because you might get a jittery eye or.
Yeah, I was fucked.
Yeah, I would just. But it's good coffee. I normally have it pretty much every morning. If I train in the morning, I hit the gym in the morning. I'll take some Cannibal coffee. Just get. It's obviously it's got the performance benefit, and it obviously wakes you up as well in those early mornings.
I mean, that's the thing.
So it's actually pretty good.
I tend to save Cannonball now as my pre-workout.
Yeah.
So before I was taking it as just regular coffee, and then wondering why I was trying to strangle my missus in her sleep. But now, like, I actually saved that as my pre-workout coffee, because it is fucking strong. But at the same time, from the data I've seen, like, over the course of like habitual caffeine intake, after like 20 days, you will start to kind of like, you'll still get benefit out of it, but not as much if you were like dosing it more conservatively. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I save it as my actual pre-workout now.
Next one, guys. We're getting towards the end of the list now. So for those of you getting weary eyes, we are nearly getting there now. And the next one is our brand new microphone. So sort of the not too long ago, we did get these nice swanky new microphones here. We used some of the primal funds for that. Putting some money back into producing good content, so we got these nice microphones. And then Andy left the podcast literally 2 weeks later, so fucking he's now got a free microphone. Brilliant. But yeah, this is Tom giving us a little demonstration of how effective they are across all mediums of entertainment.
Fuck.
Hi everyone, how do you like my new microphone?
Oh, Andy, that is
very deep.
That is liquid
intense,
chocolate in my ear. That is radio.
I like it.
Welcome to Smooth FM.
This is very Freddie Mercury, isn't it?
Oh, you look good.
If you're watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see this, but the listeners won't know what you're doing, Tom.
Well, let's hope they are watching it. Well, I'll give them something they can understand. Ayo. And I'm assuming that the audience is repeating what I'm saying.
Dropped him in the shit there, didn't we? Just watching him do that.
But no, like, obviously you guys didn't join in, but what matters is the audience definitely joined in. The audience
they were
with
like,
me.
Ayo.
Yeah. They're not just like, they're definitely not like just blanking me out and going, what the fuck's he doing? Why is there a lengthy pause?
Yeah.
But
you can't edit any of that either, Bill.
You can't.
Look, of course I'm like, yeah.
And I'll tell you what, like, I like the way you can hold it as well. You can hold it like this, or you can kind of like, you could be a bit like heavy metal with it, hold it like that. Like when they scream into the mic, you could be the old Eminem, so you can, it's like Obi Trice, real names, no gimmicks. You can do lots of stuff with this microphone, the way you can hold it. But here's
Can you recite
thing,
anything from the streets? Because you sound like that guy from the streets when you did that.
Doesn't he? Yeah.
I fucking hated the streets. God. Are they still around?
All right.
Are they still alive?
You don't sound like anything like him then. Nothing.
Oh, hang on. Dry your eyes, mate. There's no reason to be down. How's that? banning, weren't it?
Fantastic. Oh, that was brilliant. Superb.
Fuck's sake.
Does anyone want Tom to do a live rendition?
No, they don't. What's the
live-
next one? Right. Manners of Pyros.
I love the way how quickly you're trying to move this on. There's definitely someone out there who wants to listen to you sing more. Yeah, okay. Madness of Kairos is the next one, which is a fairly recent one. So if you are with us who are quite new, then you might remember this one. But yeah, this is a wonderful field of medicine.
Last time I looked at that X-ray, I remember seeing 18 fractures out of 24 vertebrae in the spine. Just bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. They were all old fractures, up and down, up and down, up and down. Ow! Yep. Oh yeah. Good movement there, huh? Yeah. Oh. There it is. All down the back. Healing takes time. This is an Amazon Prime, right? Right.
Hello, boys. Welcome back to another podcast.
That was fucking horrendous to see again.
What is crack-a-lacking, gents? Do you see what I did there?
Fucking hell. I love you playing words there, Tom.
Went straight into it. What was that you just played us, Bill? Was that a snuff video?
What I just played there was an expert in the field of chiropractors, and this was someone conducting chiropractic treatment on an elderly lady.
18 fractures out of 32. 23, bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, the bada boom was like really necessary in the clinic there. I felt like the treatment would not have been as effective if he had not said that.
Fuck's sake! I mean, that was an interesting episode to explore, wasn't it? Because I mean, the chiropractic field itself, as we established, you obviously got the evidence-based ones, which are the good guys, as we call them, and then that guy there who's a fucking lunatic. I don't even know what to say. That video sums up, doesn't it?
The thing is, like, I've actually got to the point now where we've done so many episodes on so many different topics that when people tend to ask me things, like online, if someone asks me something, I'm happy to kind of go into a conversation with them, and sometimes it's actually hard to shut me up. But in real life, like face to face, I'm sometimes the opposite. Where if someone asks me something, I'll just say, "Look, I've done a podcast episode on this. Go and if you want to know my actual thoughts on it, then go and listen to it, because I'm probably not going to be able to sum up my thoughts in a 30-second conversation." And
exactly.
I still, to this day, since then, have people talking to me going, "Yeah, but chiropractors, they helped sort out my mum's, nan's, postman's back, etc." I'm just like, yeah, just go listen to the podcast episode.
Yeah.
Or just fucking go check out the show notes where we've got study after study pulling apart this.
That one was absolutely stacked with science, wasn't it? That show notes of that episode was fucking loads
it's
of
like,
papers.
how is this even still a thing?
Yeah, that's true. Tom, this next one's fantastic. This one is called Tom Lowers His Credibility. Kez, I know you listened to this one fairly recently. It was the end of the CBD episode where you decided to change the picture things a little bit.
I see what you did there. You cheeky
my
bastard.
My personal opinion on weed is quite complicated as it is. I tell you what, just so I can lower my credibility on my personal opinion, I have to take certain steps. So bear with me.
What's going on here?
I ain't got a clue what he's doing.
So he's got a tangent. He's fucking pulled out some sort of plastic bag.
Okay, so with weed, I actually believe it should be decriminalised. Several reasons. Oh, hang on a minute, I'm starting to sound credible again. 1 second. I do believe that weed should be decriminalised, but it's not really related to CBD oils because the THC product is extremely low. And, oh, fucking hell, I'm starting to sound credible again. Sorry, 1 second. I wonder if there's actually any recovery properties to helium. That actually might be one thing we should look into, the recovery properties of helium. I mean, will it reduce DOMs? Can it reduce performance? Will it increase... Oh, I'm starting to sound... Sorry about this, guys. I keep accidentally sounding like I've got credibility again. 1 second.
This is fucking...
Okay, I'm actually starting to feel a bit dizzy now. I'm happy to end the podcast here. I need to go have a lie down.
Yeah, the pleasure as always, guys. I'll see you next week.
Birds aren't real.
Is it me, or do I progressively become more Cockney as that went along? I ended up saying like Joe Pasquale at one point.
Yeah. That was fucking...
Yeah, funny enough, I completely forgot about that until Kez mentioned it to me. Was chatting on Instagram, and he mentioned it to me, and I was like, "What did I do? I can't remember." Then he mentioned it. I was like, "Fucking hell, I completely forgot about that." Probably suffering from some low-level brain damage, but yeah.
Because that was such an important episode. If you ever listened to that episode on CBD, because I keep seeing it all the time now about... I sent you a link earlier, Tom, didn't I, about CrossFit athletes. It's horrendous in CrossFit. They constantly promote CBD stuff in CrossFit, and it's just like, do you actually know what you're pushing?
To be fair, you get that in everything, like powerlifting as well. CBD is like it's like the easy go-to pyramid scheme, of supplements now. Yeah, it's the go-to, isn't it? And that's what it is. I mean, if you haven't heard that episode on CBD, it's really important to have a good listen to. The next one is also on Tom again, but this time he loses his voice. So I don't know if this is linked to the helium overdose. It could be, but he does lose his voice, and he has a very. I'm genuinely worried.
Well, this is another crack at this. I love this.
Those repressed Rolf memories.
Hello, everyone. I have come down with the flu, and I have lost my voice. So to help me speak, I am using this mechanical gadget. Sadly, there was no option for a Cockney accent.
Oh dear. If you follow us on Instagram, you'll be aware that we had to postpone this recording a day later than usual because poor old Tom there he's got a sore throat, but he's battling through. He's still going to do the podcast with us, but through the means of technology, by the sounds of it.
To be honest with you lads, the only thing keeping me alive is Cannonball Coffee, Maximum Charge, the United Kingdom's most caffeinated coffee, of which you can use our discount code, Primal10, numericals.
How's he done that? How's he managed to shoehorn that in like that?
Wow.
Fucking brilliant. As far as I'm concerned, I was meant the podcast there. I don't even know how to.
I think we can make this that episode on its own will do.
Someone suggested I try traditional medicine such as acupuncture or cupping, to which I replied, "How about you cup these nuts?"
How about you cup these?
Malfunction. Error code 5562. Desire to harm normies are at critical level. Kill. Kill. Kill.
That's probably our best intro ever.
We are never gonna get on with this podcast at all today, are we?
We're having too much fun listening to Robotic Tom.
Yeah.
Warning.
How's your day been, Tom?
Warning. The IFS is full of cunts. Insert launch codes to commence Operation Cunt Destroyer.
You're muted, you silly fuck.
Fucking, I'll tell you what, mate. My mouth is. I'm let's get fucking Botox after this.
I forgot of treating yourself to a nice present. But yeah, I've still got that app on my phone. I completely forgot about that. I've just looked at my phone now and found it on there. I've still got all the paragraphs saved.
It's the way it came out of nowhere. Me and Andy had absolutely no fucking idea. You just pulled that out of the bag, and I was like,
because my throat was absolutely mashed.
Yeah, it was actually fucked, wasn't it? Yeah, you were actually ill, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm fucking ill now. Might have to bring it back.
Well, get it back out. 2 more now, guys. For those of you in the audience, and obviously those of you listening, doesn't really matter. But yeah, we've got 2 more now. These ones relate to our brand new series, Chat with PT. So we're only a few episodes into that series. And the first episode of that was with a PT called Sarah. And she is actually one of our one-to-one coaches for Train Primal. So if you are after sort of one-to-one bespoke coaching, and that's, nutrition, food plans, training plans, whatever your goals are, and you want really expert guidance, pretty much. She's one of our PTs, and in that episode we get to know her a little bit better, get to talk to her. So that if you are listening and you think, hang on, I like her, I want to work with her, you could make that decision. Unfortunately, we haven't got, in these best bits, we haven't got the following episodes with Hannah, who's another one-to-one PT, and there's another one because obviously I edited this way back before then, they were even made. So, but this is unfortunately, I don't think Sarah was quite ready for this podcast when she came on. Tom, this first one is when Tom basically he brings up a politicised topic, is how he described it anyway, and it caused a bit of a shitstorm.
Fuck me, I can't remember any of this. This is worrying. Alright, look, this does tend to get very heated. It's highly politicised. It can be a heated discussion. I do understand it's a highly politicised topic, but the situation of, does pineapple belong on pizza?
Oh, here we go. fucking knew it. Andy is about to erupt right now.
Bearing in mind,
Oh,
it's
fuck,
a
man,
highly
you
charged
guys are
topic.
gonna hate me. Oh, I don't eat pizza.
Oh
Why
my!
is she even on here, Bill?
That is how you just stay neutral and piss off everyone.
Yeah.
Not because I don't like it, I do, but I had to go gluten free for health reasons. I was told by my endocrinologist I was not allowed to have it, and
there's no fun stuff that doesn't have any gluten in. We all
Well, exactly, and gluten free pizza is not the same. It
Does it not taste any good? No.
tastes like ass, not the good ass, and yeah.
Oh wow!
I'm loving where this podcast is going.
Is there good ass?
I don't know.
All right,
But,
beforehand.
Rolf would have known if he hadn't
before
turned me
you
down.
Oh no!
Oh wow. Okay, before you went gluten free, was there a set?
Oh yeah, like of course, everyone likes pineapple on pizza.
Oh god.
Shit.
See, I don't mind. I'm impartial, so I don't mind a bit of pineapple on the old pizza. I mean, I don't want to create barriers to people enjoying pizza. So
I'm neutral.
There should be a law against it. Fucking barrier.
You can't fuck up a pizza. It's bread and cheese. Like, put anything on it, it tastes good.
I mean, counterpoint to that, you definitely can fuck up a pizza. Do you remember?
Oh, you did,
I don't remember if this was part of the podcast or not, or if we was just talking about it before we started recording, but ages ago. I don't know what was wrong with me, but I opened the pizza upside down. Do you remember us talking about it? So I opened the pizza upside down, I opened the packaging, and all the cheese just fell right onto my missus' washing.
Yeah.
I did the exact same fucking thing last week. I didn't mention it to you because I was embarrassed, but I did the exact same thing.
Why do all these things always happen to you? Like these bad things? It's always you, innit?
I don't know. And I had to explain to my missus what had happened again, and she was like, "You fucking done it again! What's wrong with you?" I was like, I don't know. Where do we start?
Do you know who could have solved all this? Who maybe would have changed your life?
Go on. Not Rolf Harris.
We'll find out. We'll find out in this next clip.
I have to be fair. I was absolutely horried by your Rolf Harris remark.
Oh fucking hell!
That was him. That was him downstairs. That wasn't me.
I was just like, I'm not bitter about it. I'm not bitter that I wasn't molested, but whatever, I've totally got over it. I understand that I'm not everyone's cup of tea. But it does make you think.
You should have been treated. You should have been treated as an equal.
It does make you think, like, well, what's wrong with me?
I'm fucking done.
Why would you not fancy me? What was wrong with me? At the end of the day, I know. I thought I was cute at that age, but whatever. I do understand I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but whatever. Fuck you, Rolf. You lost out. But what was we talking about? Yeah, like
you could have protected him. He wouldn't be there now if he'd just done the job on you.
I could have loved you, Rolf. I could have been good for you. You've muted yourself again, Bill. Fucking hell! The state of your desktop.
I know. I've been very busy.
Absolute state of your desktop. What is going on there?
I know. I've been very busy. I've had lots of files.
I need to sort that. We need to talk about that when we log off.
We need to talk about
this is
that.
How many people left here? Right, this is your intervention.
Right, go on.
That desktop, mate. That's fucking ridiculous. I've got I don't know, what have I got? I've got maybe 20 icons in total, but that's just excessive.
Yeah, I need to put them into the right files. I've been making a lot of content recently, and I need to put it into its correct placement. But I get it's too easy for me just to quickly save to desktop.
That is the desktop of a troubled man.
A troubled man. That was the last one, Tom. I thought we'd finish with Rolf Harris.
Yeah, I guessed it as well. That was quite. Was it good? I don't know.
I don't know. I hope people who are in the audience of it have enjoyed that. It's our first time doing a live podcast with a live audience.
We've spoken about doing it more regularly in the past, haven't we?
Yeah.
So maybe we can do that. But yeah, thank you guys for coming along. It's been good. It's been fun.
It's been a good laugh.
A lot of repressed memories have come back. Yeah, it's been great.
Yeah, it's been
It's
really
been a good year overall, I think. A good year for the podcast.
A good
Obviously, we've had
fucking year in a
few
pandemic. You fucking lunatic.
No, I said for the podcast, not in general.
Well, saying that, things are picking up this month. Cineworld is coming back. Yep, Cineworld was going to shut down, which means that my local Starbucks is going to be reopening because that was in the Cineworld that closed down. You can eat inside a Nando's now. Yep.
That's nice.
Yep. I'm doing a squat
Anything else?
workshop tomorrow.
Oh, a squat workshop. You did a deadlift workshop last week, didn't you?
I did one today, mate.
Oh, was it today? Was it? How did that go? Was it good?
Fully booked. 6 people. Only 2 turned up. As they do. But it's about lowering barriers, and those 2 people are going to be deadlifting for the rest of what I'm assuming is their short life, because they were quite getting on a bit. But, you know, it's...
You're 2 old people.
And they're coming from my squat workshop tomorrow. I do have a sneaking suspicion they might be swinners, because it was a couple.
How many people you got booked for tomorrow, Tom?
The same people that I saw today. And once again, it's a fully booked class. It's 6 people. I'm assuming it's going to be the same 2 people that appear.
Oh, it's brilliant.
So, yeah, wish me luck with that.
Yeah, have fun, mate. It sounds like it's doing really well.
Yeah, it is going well, mate. It's better than nothing, you know. It's not like I'm getting paid for it. It's all part of my shift. It means that there's less time for me to make excuses to go and text on the toilet.
Oh, I can't breathe.
Yeah,
right. Hang on. Do you think they...
This is because they gave you their keys to look after. Ah, Ellie knows about the old car key trick. Yep. She's a woman of culture. You ever heard about the car key trick, Bill?
I've not.
On next week's episode of Chat Shit Get Fit, we'll talk about the car key.
Disgusting.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah, so I think we'll wrap it up there. I said once again, thanks for joining us. If you are listening to the podcast and you want to get involved with any of these live stuff, head over to the website and sign up to the email list, because what I'm going to do is if we're ever going to go live again, I'll probably send out an email to anyone who's set up on the mailing list, and I'll just send out a mass email so you'll be aware of it, and then I'll send out an invite like I did today.
We have a mailing list
for everyone to get involved. Yeah, we do on the website. We do, mate. Yeah.
Oh, moving up in the world.
So that would be pretty cool. But yeah, thanks for joining us, and it's been a pleasure as always, guys. And I'll speak to you all again very, very soon.
Good night, everyone. See you later.